pumps it a couple of times, now lets it go, and what a grab for the touchdown!
What a beautiful pass.
What a catch! Now he looks to the end zone, and it's picked off by the Wildcats. This time he gets a block, heads up the sideline, hurdles a man, and gets past the 50-yard line.
Looking deep, he's got a man open. It is complete at the 35-yard line. Back in the pocket again, into the end zone. It is picked off by the Huskies. And here comes the throw. Open, complete, incredible catch.
Welcome to round 2 of the Battle of Edmonton and week 6 of the 2016 Prairie Football Conference season. Good evening, football fans. I'm Kevin Donnan, and I'll be your host and sideline reporter for tonight's game between the Edmonton Wildcats and the Edmonton Huskies from Clark Park. ICU Video Productions is proud to bring you this procast of this second game of the 3-game series between the Huskies and Wildcats in 2016. These teams first met in week 3, and it was a knockout. The Wildcats had no answer as the Huskies took control early thanks to a punishing defense. And when the dust settled, the Huskies won round 1 by 41 points. Tonight, the Wildcats look for revenge while the Huskies look to strengthen their hold on a playoff spot. My colleagues Dave Rozak and the coach, John Belmont, are in the media upstairs as they will call tonight's action. And of course, with ICU Video, we don't webcast, we procast. Gentlemen, if we're using boxing as an analogy, with round 1 behind them, the Wildcats look to pick themselves up off the canvas, while the Huskies look to score another knockout. Let's send this one upstairs to Dave and the coach as we ring the bell on round 2 of the Battle of Edmonton. Gentlemen, take it away.
I'm feeling punch drunk for some reason. I don't know why.
I'm ready to go, guys. Let's get this lit. Let's get ready to rumble.
Well, I guess if the Huskies dealt the knockout punch last week, the Wildcats are going to have to sting like a bee and float like a butterfly if they hope to win.
All I know is that you got 3 rounds, so to speak, and we've had 1. And with these 2 teams, anything can happen in round 2. And I will guarantee you the Huskies want to put the hammer down early, and the Wildcats will do anything in their power to break what the Huskies have.
Well, this is a historic weekend. This is the first time that teams from the BC Junior Football League and the Prairie Football Conference have actually met in league competition. And earlier today, the Winnipeg Rifles of the PFC had their way with the Valley Huskers of Chilliwack by a score of 35-0. This game, plus another one coming up tonight, of course, will feature the Okanagan Sun taking on the Saskatoon Hilltops, and that will be a big game. But, John, the PFC seems to have its way with many of the teams in the BC League.
Well, BC has many more teams, but you might have 2 to 3 solid teams that could compete in this league, and that's about it. Every team in this league, whether you are undefeated or have not won a game, is very competitive team.
No question about that. Last year in the Canadian Bowl, of course, it was the Saskatoon Hilltops taking on the Okanagan Sun, as they are tonight, and it was a victory for the Saskatoon Hilltops. So we can expect a pretty good grudge match coming up.
Oh, I think so. It's going to be good.
All right, let's get down to field level. The teams are lined up. We are ready for the opening kickoff. The Edmonton Huskies in the black and yellow uniforms defending the zone to our right, and the yellow and black of the Edmonton Wildcats defending the zone to our left. And the Wildcats will be kicking off to the Huskies. That's exactly what Coach Ian McLean was hoping would happen. He'd take the ball early and try and get downfield and score quickly as they did in the opening game of this series. The ball was picked up at the 10-yard line, taken there by number 22, Grant Burzik. Burzik is taken down after a run back of about 10 yards or so, just over the 20-yard line, and the Huskies will have first down, and we are set to go with the round 2 of the Battle of Edmonton.
The big thing with that return is that the Wildcats held them to just over the 20-yard line. You really like to get to the 35-plus on this, and they're going to want to do a better job on the returns than they did. They had Troy Henson in there returning on that instead of Burzik this time.
All right. First down for the Huskies. Back in the pocket, looking downfield is number 16, Brad Lonhart. Lonhart, who did such a number on this team 3 weeks ago, completes his first pass of the game, and it was out there to number 80, Dylan Stanton.
Dylan, as we mentioned in a previous game, one of the hardest working young men I've ever seen in junior football, and quick pass, 8-9 yard gain, and this is what they want to do. If they can get going on this and maintain momentum, they'll do well.
All right, Lonhart over center now. After a gain of about 9 yards, he'll take it straight ahead, pick up an easy couple of yards or so. It'll be a first down for the Huskies. So right off the top, they convert, and they're moving downfield.
And they're showing ball control. They could have gone with a play action pass on that, but they didn't. They wanted the first down. They're going to try to work the clock and work the field.
And as we recall from 3 weeks ago, ball control was the name of the game. That's why they were so successful in that opening contest between the two teams. There's the handoff on the right side, taken there by Jimmy Airy.
Jimmy on the weak side, and he got a few yards, not too much, so we're going to be looking at about 2nd and 7. And this is going to be an interesting down to see what they do in the air and what the Wildcats have done to shut down the passing game.
All right, Lonhart out of the shotgun now. He rolls this way, passes incomplete, in and out of the arms of the intended receiver, number 34, Jacob Battenfelder. The Fort Saskatchewan Sting grad couldn't handle that one. It was a little bit behind him, but easily catchable.
Very catchable ball, and Jacob can catch that ball. Took his eyes off it a little bit, get upfield. He felt pressure coming, and he might not have had the first down anyway, but you've got to make those catches.
So, John, they were able to stop them on their first series of plays. This has got to be something really important for the Wildcats.
Well, it is, and now what they want to do, you've got a young punter in here, inexperienced punter, and they're going to want to get that ball good field position and now get a drive of their own going.
Luca Capelli, the punter, replacing Cole Sabarin, who is out with a quad injury for the next couple of weeks. There's the kick. It's a good spiraling kick all the way down to about the 43-yard line, and a run back of about 5 yards. The ball taken there by number 85, Isaac Fanyon from Bonnyville High School.
Luca didn't get that ball real deep, but he got it high, and it enabled the coverage to get down there, and they did a very good job making the tackle.
Watching him practice before the game, he does have a very, very high punt. Needs to get it away pretty quick if he hopes not to have anything blocked.
That's right, and he is a little slow on his getaway.
All right, there's the handoff to Bray Josu. Josu runs into one of his own linemen and is knocked back perhaps a yard or so. No, he'll gain a couple of yards. And so Bray Josu right off the top.
The Huskies are playing with Bryce Lee at the nose guard. He's out of our Drawson, and he's replacing Hayward Beasley, who's injured. And Bryce did a good job on that, stacking it up on the inside.
Out of the shotgun, we have a couple of flags. It looks like it'll probably be a time count violation.
Looks like there's 7
seconds
on
left.
The clock, so it must be procedure.
It is a procedure penalty. And right off the top, the Wildcats. I think the last time these two teams met, the penalties, the flags were just, you could swear you had it carpeted by orange out there at this field.
It's one thing you never want to see anytime you're coaching. It's something that I know Darcy will be very frustrated with.
Okay, it'll be 2nd and 12. Ball just shy of the 45-yard line. Back in the pocket now, looking downfield. Colton Hippie has a man open. It is almost picked off. In there doing a great job of coverage was number 4, Logali, Daniel Logali. He was all over his man on that one.
Daniel's got great height, and he can get up in the air. He had the coverage real well, and the quarterback threw it high, and he almost had the pick. Actually, the receiver might have saved a pick on that.
So 3rd and 12, and the Wildcats will be forced to kick this one away. A couple of receivers sitting down around the 25-yard line. It is almost blocked. The kicker goes for a tumble, but there will be a flag, and I think there will be a roughing the kicker call. And the punt taken by number 22, Brant Berzik once again.
And this is a case, we'll see if we get it on the replay. We don't see the attempted block. I believe it was
number 47
number
coming
47. That's right.
Sam O'Shane.
Very good special teams player, but he was too tight to the punter. You've got to get out where the punt will come through. And he hit his leg, and the ball got out. If the ball crosses that line of scrimmage, it's a punt, and it's roughing. You have to get the ball.
So that's a 10-yard penalty, and it moves the ball all the way up to just shy of the center field stripe. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 yards to go for the first down, and I think they will try and kick this one away once again.
It'll be interesting to see if the Huskies put on a return now instead of going for the block. But they only have one man back, so it could very well be they go for it again. They had the leverage on the last one.
Brant Berzik back to receive this one at about his own 20. The clock runs down, and this time it'll be a time count violation.
Now, I'm wondering if they do not have 12 on the field, and the punter did that on purpose.
1, 2, 3.
It can't be. No, looks like they got 12. But something happened there. And what the Huskies, you see all the players coming out of the Huskies, they had what they call a punt safe on their play the run first. They were expecting a fake. In that location at this time of the game, it was a good thing to do, but not with this situation.
So that may have been why the punter decided to just let time run out?
Could very well have. Could be a planned thing.
All right, there is a flag on the play. Here is a high spiraling kick all the way down to the 20-yard line, 25-yard line. Brent Berzik has it. He's got some room on the outside. Still going to the 40 and taken down just shy of the 40-yard line. Nice tackle in there by number 21, Jaden Dalkey out of Leduc. And the Huskies will take the ball over just shy of the 40-yard line with 11:16 to go in this first quarter.
Dave, we do have 2 penalties on the play. It looks like an offside. I don't know where it might have been on the punting team. And it looks like a holding call on the Huskies down on the 30-yard line.
I think there easily could have been another holding call down here, too.
That was actually a clean block. Yeah. It was, yeah. He got him right through the numbers and just put him on his back, and that was a clean block. We call those ones double decleters. He made a very good block on the play.
36-yard punt and about a 19-yard return. And the officials discussing how this one's going to work out. Couple of flags. One over on the far side of the field, which I believe was the offside call.
Guys, Kevin down here at field level, and it was interesting speaking to both coaches before the game. They both stressed the importance of fundamentals during that bye week, allowing some bruises to heal, but really emphasizing the fundamentals and getting back to basics. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams adjust coming off the rest and coming out of that bye week.
Yeah, they've been stressing, each individual's job out there. The biggest thing that happened to them in last week's, or the 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago, was that the defense tried to cover for each other. And you can't go out and do that. You have to do your own job and let everybody else do their job.
And what that comes down to, Dave, is trust. And this is what coaches preach all the time. You must trust the man next to you, that he will do his job, you do your job. And when you get that on a ball club, there might be better people, and teams that have much better athletes. But the team that is disciplined and that trust each other, they're pretty good ball clubs. They usually have a lot of success.
Yeah, they had a lot of concern with Brad Lonhart, and well, they should. I mean, he's a very, very good quarterback. And every time he started running with the ball, everybody would follow him, and then he'd just do the option and a big play.
Well, and also with Brad, he's a veteran. He sees the field extremely well. The game is slow for him. So a lot of these young people on the Wildcat defense, and they got some young players out there, they're seeing things differently. They're seeing a narrow focus. They're not seeing the field like they should. Looks like we've got a big penalty here. This there was re-punted.
We know there was an offside, but that's like almost 20 yards back.
This looks like a UR, but I did not see what the call was.
And so for the third time, the Wildcats will attempt to get a punt away.
They are getting lots of practice. Now, the one thing with the Huskies is they've returned left twice, and it's going to be interesting to see if they had the same call on. They blocked the last one quite well. Well, I thought there was a hold there. There might have been something else down there.
On the original punt, Berzik was standing on his own 20. Now he is up to his own 32, 33-yard line. And he's also out there being joined by number 89, Connor Mickle. Here's a good high spiraling punt all the way down to the 20-yard line, taken there by Berzik. And it's run left, as you said, and collared at about the 25-yard line. And looks like someone gave him the old stiff arm right to the head.
Well, it looked like a clothesline, and that's illegal. And whoever it was, it got away with it.
Be interesting to see the replay, guy. But, you know, the coach talked about a decleater. That was the classic decleater.
It certainly was. Now, if he caught him...
Berzik is injured, obviously.
If he caught him on the neck, Berzik might have grown an inch on that hit. You never know. Here it is.
Take a look at it here.
That was just a
huge hit.
Huge hit, but it was a clean hit. It was a good forearm, come up through the upper numbers. It was a very good hit.
I believe it was Jared Wilderman, number 66, that made the hit.
Could very well have been, but somebody's going to be upset that they missed the block on him.
And I would suspect that they are going to take a very close look at Brant Berzik and may even do a concussion protocol on him. They are looking at his upper body, perhaps his face or his head.
One of those brings the oohs and the ahs in the film room, that's for sure, doesn't it, Coach?
It certainly does, and whether you're on the recovery team or whether you are on the blocking team, the players that make hits like that, their team just loves it, and they can lift a team. There's absolutely no question. The thing now for the Huskies is if Berzik is hurt, he is the backup tailback to Jimmy Airy. And when they go to, sometimes, if they go to two true running backs, he is the other back. That would bring young Sadowski in there to play. So we'll have to see what happens and also see who will play in the return in place of him.
And as you recall, the last time these two teams met, a lot of those players, including Sadowski, actually got a chance to play a good portion of the fourth quarter of that game. And when you got a rookie like that who actually gets in to see some action, it's got to help in case he is called upon at the last minute to come in and play again.
Well, that's right. They're taking him right to the dressing room. They're going to do a concussion. Oh, no, they'll bring him. He's coming to the bench. I thought they were going to go to the dressing room.
It looked on that slow motion replay as though he was hit by a shoulder pad into the, up under the face mask.
It was a shoulder pad and the forearm coming up through like a forearm shiver. It was a perfectly legal hit, just good position, and he ran into it. It looks like he's going to be all right. He's running. There's no stagger. There's walking real well. He looks fine.
All right, the single setback. The whistle is blown, and another flag is thrown.
We might set a record here for first quarter flags. This surprises me.
Well, and the last time these two teams met again, and I keep referring to that game, but the number of flags that were thrown was bordering on
insanity.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it is very interesting. Now here we have a situation where there's two penalties. You had offside on the Huskies and a legal procedure. You don't see that too often.
The ball is moved back 5 yards. They mark it down at the 21-yard line. And now Lonhart once again with the single setback. Motion goes to the right. There's the handoff. Jimmy Airy once again plows his way through for a pickup of about 5 yards.
Now here's a case where they ran what they call freeze, where the receivers come up hard, then come back, and they're trying to draw offside. Well, the defensive end of the Wildcats did jump, and the center did not snap the ball. They would have had their 5 yards back if he had done so there.
So it's a gain of 7. It'll be second and about 8. There's the play action fake, and Lonhart takes off with it down to about the 44-yard line. Brad Lonhart on a nice job. The last time, again, these two teams met, they used that wide receiver out there, number 9, Connor Burgesson, on that sweep, that play-action sweep, and this time it was just the fake.
What he does, and he does it very well, it's a zone read, and he did it well the previous game.
All right, the pass to Jimmy Airy. Airy takes it across midfield and is run out of bounds at about the 52-yard line of the Edmonton Wildcats, and now the Huskies offense is on the move with a gain of close to 12 yards on the play. 1st and 10 for the Huskies in Wildcats territory for the first time in this game. 9:17 to go in the first quarter.
Huskies have a tight end in.
There's the handoff to Airy. Airy dipsy doodles his way up to about the 50-yard line, a gain of about 2 or 3 on the play.
Problem on that play, and Jimmy does it once in a while, he had one too many dipsies and not enough doodle in there. He's got to get up the field and go. And he tends to try to break everything deep. The previous play off the pass, he made one good move and got up the field, and that's how he has to play.
All right, and again, the single setback is Airy. There's the play-action pass all the way down into Huskies or Wildcats territory. Nice grab by number 80 for the Edmonton Huskies, Dylan Stanton. We talked about him earlier in the game, and Stanton goes up and picks that one off for a big gain.
Again, with Dylan on that play, if he had kept running, he slowed down on it, he probably would have scored. Very good ball by Brad Lonhart and good blocking for him.
Well, he secured the football, got the catch, and rolling to his right is Lonhart. Lonhart complete to number 9, Burgesson, and Burgesson is stopped after a short gain of just a couple yards or so. And again, there's that option that Lonhart runs so well.
He does run it well, and of course they're running in plays. Now the tight end comes out and putting in another slot. I think you're going to see a flood on this. The Wildcats like to blitz down here, and let's have a look and see if they do that.
Darian Gromolski into the game for the Huskies. Staggers the count. Now Lonhart goes motion left.
He now has read Mac linebackers up, and he is blitzing. The Sam is blitzing. So
the pass incomplete. Once again, intended for Dylan Stanton. There is another flag on the play.
Guys, Kevin at field level, just wanting to give you an injury update on Brant Berzik. Huskies medical staff are taking absolutely every precaution. They were checking, definitely going through some concussion protocols with, checking out his eyes, those sorts of things. But now they're moving on to his extremities as well, making sure that the neck is okay after that incredible hit that Berzik took. So Huskies medical staff letting him jog a little bit, just making sure that he is absolutely 100% ready to go back in. Guys?
Second down on the 17. There's that, again, play action and the option to Lonhart. Lonhart is tackled at the 10-yard line, and he's running with the ball with ease.
He is, again, a good fake to Jimmy Airy. Came outside. His blocking was exceptional. It's hard to hold those blocks, maintain blocks downfield on those types of play action, and it was very well done by the Huskies.
The gain is 7. It's 1st and 10 on the 10. Lonhart back in the pocket now. He'll roll to his left, sees some room, and takes off with it to the 10. 5 still going, and is in for the touchdown. Brad Lonhart.
Little bootleg action by Brad. He had a receiver out there, Jason Battenfelder, and I don't know if he gave him a go call, but he turned it up and got up the field, and Jason will be a little upset with himself because he did not get a good block on this. Didn't get it at all, but real good run by Brad Lonhart. He's seeing everything out there, and some young players, young quarterbacks could look at. If you notice, Brad's eyes followed Jimmy Airy. They followed the ball carrier. That brings the defensive end and the will linebacker inside. They go to the ball. He comes outside. He's got 2 less people to worry about.
Convert is good, and with 7:08 to go, we have another flag down.
They will add this on the kickoff.
Offside is going to be the call against the Wildcats. It'll be tacked onto the kickoff. And with 7:08 to go in the first quarter, the Edmonton Huskies are leading the Edmonton Wildcats by a score of 7-0. And you could see where the Huskies offense just slowly taking control. The Wildcats are going to have to do something big to get the momentum back in their favor.
The big thing, I think, for the Wildcats at this point is and Coach Park is going to want to sustain drives, get some first downs, because basically the Wildcat defense has been on the field the great majority of the first quarter. And because defense is reaction football, they get tired, the reactions go, and it makes it very, very difficult later in the game. So they're going to want to see some ball control here.
All right, the Huskies will be kicking this one off from their own 50-yard line with that penalty tacked on. Luca Capelli from the St. Albert Skyhawks. And the Skyhawks don't send a whole lot of players up to the junior football level, but Luca is one, and I think he's the only player on both of these teams from the St. Albert Skyhawks.
And he's going to be a good kicker. He's about a year away. He's pressed into service because of injury right now. There's a beautiful kickoff.
Almost down to the goal line, taken there at the 5-yard line, up to the 10, still going to the 15, and tackled just over the 15-yard line was number 22, Isaiah Brown. And interesting story about Luca Capelli. He's only played 1 year of organized football, and that was in his grade 12 year in high school.
That's right, and you love to see guys like that come out and develop, and Neil McLean does a wonderful job with these guys. Justin Hudinsky made a great tackle on that play.
All right, first down for the Wildcats. Ball on the 16-yard line. Here's the quick pass out to the side, taken there by number 8, Brandon Olson, and Olson plows ahead for a gain of about maybe 8 yards or so on the play. It'll be 2nd and 2. So the Wildcats offense starts to move.
And Brandon was tackled by an old teammate of his from Jasper Place High School, Brandon Mellon, number 15, defensive halfback for the Huskies.
All right, ball now on the 24-yard line. There's the handoff by Colton Hippie to Bray Josu. Josu up ahead over the 30-yard line, and the Wildcats come up with a first down on the conversion. And with 6:12 to go, they are on the move.
And we have a flag on the play holding on the Wildcats, so it will come back and make it 2nd and probably 12, 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13. And this is exactly what Coach Park does not want to get into. They had that first down, you start getting a little bit of momentum going, and suddenly it's shot.
Exactly the same scenario as their first series.
Absolutely. And this makes it very, very difficult, as I said earlier. Now the Huskies, they're going to put their ears back, and they're going to unload now on that quarterback. They're going to be coming, whether it's just with 3 or 4. Usually they'll come with 4, maybe 5. We'll see.
They've got 3 going.
It's just 3.
And there's the pass complete. Colton Hippie fires a bullet into the arms of number 85, Isaac Fanyon. And Fanyon picks up a gain of close to 15 yards on the play. It's good enough for the first down.
Good enough for first down.
And there's no flag, John.
No. And he had to put the ball low. If he puts that up, the Husky defensive backs and linebacker Jason Brown closing very fast on that.
All right.
Very good ball.
Hippie in at quarterback. Looks downfield. Pass complete on the 40-yard line. Taken there by number 40, Matt Heinrichs. And Heinrichs out of Belrose High School in St. Albert sees his first action.
And he makes a good catch. And again, tackled by defensive halfback Brandon Mellon. So now they're 2nd and 2. Now if they can convert this to get a little bit of momentum going, get up into plus territory instead of being in negative territory like they are now.
Make that Brandon Rebnord with the completion on that pass. Rebnord is flanked way out to the left side. There's the handoff up the middle to Bray Josu. And Josu will move ahead for a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. He's close to the first down marker, but there is another flag.
There is another flag, and I didn't see if offense or defense jumped on that, so we'll see what the call is.
It is against the Huskies.
Be an automatic first down.
Donovan Birdmeyer from the Salisbury Sabres called on the offside. And the Huskies with first down now. The ball is on their own 45-yard line, just a little bit shy of the 45. Three flankers to the far side. There's the handoff to number 85 for the Wildcats, Isaac Fanyon, and Fanyon will pick up a gain of close to 13 yards on the play, and that was a quick developing play, and that's exactly what they needed to do.
That is a fly action, and you see them bring the back across, and he burst it. It was blocked pretty well, but he bursted it. Now they've got the momentum going, and this is one thing that I know that Coach McLean was worried about. The Wildcats get going, they get confident.
All right. It is student body right. Bet you haven't heard that one in a million years. And there's the handoff to Bray Josu. And Josu will be stopped for a loss of close to 4 yards on the play. In that student body right thing, the left guard and left tackle pull over to the right-hand side and just load up that side.
And they fill in the backside with receivers. The problem is Aaron Shabelo, who is an extremely quick 6'4", 230-pound linebacker from the Huskies, read it, sniffed it out, and broke through the gap, made the tackle.
So it's second, and we'll call it 13. Back in the pocket now. Hippie looking downfield, has lots of time, and passes complete at the 50-yard line to the 55. Taken there by number 7, Jordan Samuel. And we haven't called Samuel's name in quite a while, but he certainly showed some power after he picked up that pass and moved all the way up to the 45-yard line, and a third down with about 1.5 yards to go.
He did, and quarterback did a nice job on that. He stepped back up in the pocket even though he had pressure.
All right, big play for Colton Hippie. Tries to plow ahead, and boy, this one's going to be tight.
I think it's going to be very tight.
Wildcats are signaling first down. Actually, Hippie came up out of that pile a little bit further ahead than I thought he'd been.
But where they are placing the ball is not, and I don't think he has it.
He needed to get to the 43.
They're going to have a measure, but I don't think he has it where they place the ball, and I'm not sure that the ball placement, his knee might have gone down a little early. The officials are right there. They certainly see it better than we do in the booth.
It looked like he needed to get to the 43, and it looks like it's about halfway between the 42 or the 44 and 43. So we'll see what the chains say, and you are absolutely right by the length of the football.
Now, I believe that the Wildcats had to do what they did to keep that momentum going, and it will be interesting now to the Huskies maintain their offensive prowess and get another drive going.
All right, so the offense has some momentum going for the Wildcats. Now it's up to the defense to step up and get the ball back to them. 2 minutes, 34 seconds to go here in this first quarter. 7-0 in favor of the Edmonton Huskies over the Edmonton Wildcats. Round 2 of the Battle of Edmonton. Movement along both lines, but I believe it's going to go against the Huskies. Number 66 moving offside, Tyler Dietrich.
Tyler Dietrich is, I think his third or fourth year offensive lineman from Central Alberta, from big farming, cattle farming family down in that area.
Sedgwick.
A really good kid, Sedgwick area, and he's a pretty good young man. He's going to be a very good football player. He's had some injury problems, but he jumped out a lot, and coaches are not going to be happy with that one. 1st and 15.
Big kid, 6'6", 285 pounds. Here's Lonhart. The little dump to this side. Running around the outside is number 83, Devin Moss. And that's the first time that we've seen Devin Moss this season as well. And Moss showed a lot of speed cutting around that outside corner.
He does, but we have a flag down, and I believe there's a holding call on number 5. It should be, I believe, Harrison Cable. It's a freshman out of Leduc High School.
And Moss will come out of the game. And in will go number 17, Aaron Abramson. And the ball will go back 10 yards to the 33-yard line. Or make that the 27-yard line.
So right now, the defense of the Wildcats is doing pretty well, basically by penalty. But still, put the Huskies in a position where they've got a long way to go.
Again, that fake handoff. And again, Lonhart takes off with it. And this time he'll pick up close to about 12 yards on the play. I think he needed 15 or so. So it'll be second, and we'll call it 7.
No, it's actually second and 15 if you look at it.
There's the other one.
Yeah, he had a lot to go. So I expect the ball to be in the air this time.
All right, second and 15.
They tried to freeze there and again draw Wildcats offside. They didn't jump.
Ball on the 37-yard line. Back in the pocket, looking downfield. Pass, it is almost picked off. Intended there for Devin Moss. And in there to knock it down was number 46 for the Wildcats, Taylor Tangent.
That was the first mistake I've seen Brad Lonhart made today. He had to put that ball over the linebacker, and he put it on a line, and it enabled him to get a piece of it. And there it is right there. He puts that up and over, and he's got himself a big play.
That's a pretty athletic move by young Mr. Tangent.
A lot of these young linebackers today are very athletic. There's so much passing that goes on in the game. If you're not athletic, you won't be able to play in there.
All right, Luca Capelli told me before the game, I asked him, so what will be going through your mind on that first snap? He says, I just want to catch the ball. He gets a high spiraling kick down. It's a short one, gets a good bounce. It's taken there by number 85, Isaac Fanyon, and Fanyon picks up a gain of about maybe 5 yards on the run back, and they'll mark it down at about the 50-yard line.
And we have a flag down. I know that's hard to believe, but there is another one down.
Guys, Kevin down here at field level. Good news from the Huskies bench. Number 22, Brant Berzik, he has been cleared to return to the football game. And lots of credit to the Husky medical staff just for their ability to take just watching them take him through the protocols and check every possible detail. So great work by the Huskies medical staff and good news for Huskies fans as Brant Berzik has been cleared to return. Gentlemen.
Certainly believe that the quote-unquote protocols for concussion protocols, probably the best thing that's happened to amateur and professional sports as far back as I can remember.
I think it's very positive, and I concur here that both of the medical staffs on both these teams are very, very good. They follow things the right way, and they protect the players.
Josu on the handoff, it's fumbled. I don't think he ever got control of it, actually. And it's going to be picked up and recovered by the Huskies. We'll see exactly.
The Huskies think so, but
the Huskies have it.
And they do.
And in there to pick it up was number 91, Donovan Bergmeyer.
That was a good job, and again, a direct snap, and it looked like, I'm not sure the back was ready for it. You saw it there, the quarterback, and the ball was low. So anyway, it's big thing for the Huskies. And the one thing you want to see with that, either team, ball's on the ground, get low and go hard for it. And the Huskies beat the Cats to it, and that is really important. Now they're in pretty good shape on the plus 30.
Berzik is back in there as the lone setback. He'll take the fake on the handoff, and again, Lonhart will take off. Gets around one man, then is tackled just shy of the 20-yard line. It looks like he'll have enough for the first down. So just to make sure, I think that Brant Berzik is truly okay, and to show the fans that he's okay, Coach Ian McLean puts him out there in place of Jimmy Airy.
Puts him out, and you notice they ran a little fake to him. And just see how he handled things, and he looks fine. He's moving well. I noticed the Huskies are in a tight end situation. They have number 17 out there on the wide side.
Aaron Abramson. Motion goes left. There's the handoff to Berzik. Berzik has some room up the middle and is taken down just shy of the 10-yard line at about the 12. And he showed a good burst of speed, breaking through that hole in the offensive line.
Good burst of speed, and one thing you see with Berzik, he really sees the field well for a young man, being a freshman right out of Hunting Hills in Red Deer. And when he did that, made that move, it was a quick jump step and right up the field.
So that will be the end of the first quarter. And with the score 7-0 in favor of the Edmonton Huskies. And I would have to say, just looking at the play of the last quarter or so, It's got to be some kind of success for the Wildcats, because at this time 3 weeks ago they were down, I think it was 21-0.
Well, that's right, and part of it is both teams coming off of a bye.
All right, just want to talk to you or tell you about some of the important sponsors at the Edmonton Huskies, who are the home team, by the way, for this game. Hertz Equipment Rental, the Edmonton Eskimos, the Glenn Sather Sports Medicine Clinic, FC Edmonton, and the Eskimo Excavators Limited.
It's very interesting when you see this, the way things are going on. The reason I mentioned the bye, it might be a part of the reason for the number of penalties, and I know that both coaches say that's just an excuse. But when you're off and you're not competing against somebody else and doing a normal prep week, and both teams would have done things differently, maybe leadership things, whatever it is they did, that it's not basically football speed. And it's very difficult to maintain that. So when you come off a bye, whether it be at the pro level, whether it be at this level, whether it be high school, then you're going to have these types of things happen. Now, by the second half, and actually in this quarter, there should be a minimum of penalties, we hope.
We hope. Interesting little idea from Ian McLean on their bye week. They actually took a day and went down to the EPS training facility to watch the police and how they train and get in shape, and maybe pick up some ideas from them. So Ian said it was a really successful, eye-opening day for his young players.
And along with that, both the Edmonton Huskies and Edmonton Wildcats have a number of their alumni are city police officers.
So the Huskies have the ball on the Wildcat 13-yard line. The fake, the toss into the end zone, touchdown! Aaron Abramson, the Wetaskiwin grad, picks up his first touchdown as an Edmonton Husky.
Now he's playing at tight end. He just runs a release right up the field, beat the man clean, and he is going to be flagged down there for taunting. If you see what he does at the end of the play here, he points at the defensive back. They're flagging him for taunting, and I think that will be added on the kickoff. But that's one thing that type of thing is they're really getting tough on it. And
objectionable conduct is the official term for it. And so Abramson will be penalized, and it will be tacked on the kickoff. In the meantime, Luca Capelli steps back and we'll try and put this one through the uprights.
That was a very well executed play, and that's a case where Brad had the linebacker outside a little bit, and he could put the ball on the line. He didn't have to put it over him, and he threw a pretty good dart in there. And Abramson is a big young man. He's packing a lot of weight on a lot of height.
Nobody near him.
Here it is.
And he picks up, there you go. Nearest defender was a good 5 or 6 feet away from him.
It's funny how you don't see a lot of tight end in this league anymore. And so when you do put them in there, sometimes they get up on the field and they're not picked up. And there will be somebody who's responsible for them, but they did not pick them up.
You know, we were talking about Luca Capelli and his 1 year of football before joining the Huskies. Akil Ambrose is also out there. He's with the Wildcats, and this is only his 4th football game ever. And the interesting part about it is he was a soccer grad too.
You know, you see that in this league, and it's a beautiful thing of it. Simeon Rotier started this league with the Huskies out of Westlock. All he played was basketball and volleyball. Never played a down of football. How many years has he been in the CFL as a starting guard with the Eskimos? Yes.
There's a story that probably a lot of our viewers weren't aware of. Here's Capelli. He gets the high end-over-end kick down to the 25-yard line. And a little dipsy-doodle action down there, the handoff or the pitch out. And eventually taken there by number 21 for the Wildcats, Jaden Dalkey. And Dalkey gets a run back in total of about 8 or 9 yards or so. And the Wildcats will take over.
Now the big thing here, I'm expecting more of this from these teams, but a very good job by the Huskies of staying in their lanes and forcing him now to cut back inside where he wanted to go wide. very good job by the Huskies on that reverse.
So Colton Hippie still in at quarterback. Bray Josu is the setback, along with number 7 Jordan Samuel, their big fullback. There's the fake. The pass is almost picked off. Intended there for Tristan Schultenkamper, and Schultenkamper just unable to hold on to that one, but one of the defenders just cut across in front of him at the last minute.
I'm not sure. I think that was Gaetano Minto. Let's have a look at it. But does a very good job cutting in front, making the play. That's exactly who it is. Out of Athabasca, very physical young football player, and that was a very good defensive play. That ball was on the money. He just made a very good defensive play.
All right, one setback this time. Bray Josu, 2nd and 10, back in the pocket, looking into the middle. The pass is complete to Josu, and he is clobbered as soon as he picks up the football. And he'll get a gain of close to 7 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and about 3, a long 3. And so the Wildcats will be forced to kick this one away. But that's something that we saw the Wildcats do in earlier games, was using Bray Josu up the middle on that quick pass.
Well, that's right. And in that play, the Huskies were in a zone, and a very good job by middle linebacker Jason Brown, the will linebacker Shane Samuels, and they closed on. That ball left his hand. They were closing on the receiver immediately.
Jason Brown, the leading tackler on the Huskies with over 17 tackles.
You know, he's a young man, doesn't look like a football player, but he plays awfully well.
Good high spiraling kick all the way down to the 25, bounces to the 5-yard line, and it will be picked up there by number 85 for the Huskies, Darian Grimalski, and he just goes nowhere, but it looks like it'll be no yards called on the Huskies.
It could be, unless if it was the punter coming down there, and I don't think it was.
Boy, talk about the Argo bounce.
Well, it was, but also there's a situation you don't see too often. Most teams will punt off the hash mark to the narrow side of the field to get it out of bounds. Here they went to the wide side because the one return man back, and he was closer to this hash mark. He had a lot of field to play with, and he had a wonderful punt, got a very good bounce on it. That's very difficult to play. You want to be able to catch those balls in the air. That was the punter, and they're picking up the flag.
So the Huskies will take it over. Ball deep in their own zone at about the 7-yard line. Brad Lonhart at quarterback looks to this side, fires complete, just shy of the 20-yard line, still going to the 25, and finally tackled just over the 25-yard line. The ball carrier, number 80, Dylan Stanton once again, and Stanton is becoming Brad Lonhart's favorite target, but it looks like he is injured. He was looked like his hip or maybe his back.
He got dinged a little bit on that coming out. One thing that his receiver coach are going to get on him a little bit on a pass like that. When you are a wide receiver and out in this area, it's always better to turn to the sideline than it is to the inside. And I don't know why he turned inside. He's a veteran receiver. He must have seen something from there that we didn't see from up here.
Gain is about 16 yards on the play. They'll mark the ball at the 25-yard line. A first down for the Huskies. 12:53 to go here at Clark Park. The Battle of Edmonton, round number 2. Round number 3, by the way, will be, I believe it's October the 1st, is it not?
I think it's somewhere in there, yes.
I'd like to think of best 2 out of 3, but I'll tell you what, either one of these teams, they need a couple of victories at least in order to ensure themselves of a shot at least at the playoffs.
Well, you're exactly right, and for the Huskies, if they were able to win the 3, for example, you still need to pick up 2 other wins. You need 5 wins usually in this league to be assured of a playoff spot. And with the extra game, it might even be more so this year.
Lonhart still in at quarterback. Stutters the count. Now he's calling an audible. 4 flankers to the far side. The fake, back in the pocket, looking downfield. The pass is incomplete. Tried to dump it, to number 85, Darian Grimalski, but it was just over his head. The defensive secondary of the Edmonton Wildcats doing an outstanding job downfield of covering the long receivers, and I think Lonhart was looking that way.
There's no question, and like you say, they had it blanketed downfield, and Brad did a good job in that. Instead of trying to force the ball downfield where he could have got a pick, he dumped it, and you either get it or you don't. Now they're punting it away. They've got a 2-touchdown lead. This is the safest way to play.
Well, that Wildcat lineup is ready and set to go after the punter. They almost get to him, but not quite. It's a short, high kick down to about the 50-yard line. The ball is bouncing around, and it's finally picked up by one of the Wildcats and moved ahead to just about the 51-yard line. But they're going to have a no-yards call, but whether it was the punter or not.
That was the punter coming down. Mm-hmm. But if there was other Huskies within that 5-yard zone, they can still call it. Because it was a bounce back, it would be a 5-yard penalty instead of a 15.
So that time, that high spiraling kick kind of backfired a little bit on Luca Capelli.
Well, the one thing that Luca hasn't got yet, and he's got to learn how to do it, is turn that ball over. The ball tails on him.
Now, I'm not exactly sure what the official said, but obviously it got a laugh out of everybody here in the stadium.
It did. Basically, he was telling that the punter was in there, but there was another man in the 5-yard zone, and that is the rule.
A referee with a sense of humor? All
That's
right,
hard to believe, isn't it?
Colton Hippie's pass is incomplete. It was intended out there for number 8, Brandon Olson, but the pass was short, and we have another flag.
Now, I don't know if it's the Huskies or Wildcats on this. There was a late mess up, and I think it was Bryce Lee from the Huskies. I don't know who from the Wildcats was involved, but there is going to be, I don't know who they're talking to here. We'll see what it is. I think it's a UR. We'll see.
Unnecessary roughness called against the Wildcats, number 59. We don't have a number 59, so
well, there's 59
69.
on the Huskies,
yep.
So 69. But again, here's a situation where Coach Park, I feel sorry for him because I know they don't teach this. These guys are very good coaches. And what you got somebody getting frustrated, and he goes out and does something that just costs his team 15 yards. And now puts them in an untenable position in second and about 25 to go.
11:22 to go in the first half. Huskies leading by a score of 14-0. The Wildcats have the football. It is second down and a whole bunch. Bray Josu at setback. Back in the pocket, looking downfield. Colton Hippie throws long. It is intended out there for number 81. Luther Hakanavanu, but he was well covered and the ball was thrown well over his head.
It was a very well-timed play by Brandon Mellon, defensive halfback. Now, they might have been in a cover 2 down there. It almost looked like it. He was playing like a safety, but he closed on it extremely fast and timed it up well. A little earlier, that's interference.
Hakanavanu took a big hit.
He did so. Mellon is a hitter. He loves to hit. He has from the time he was a peewee football player.
So again, the Wildcats will be forced to kick this one away. Another good high spiraling punt all the way down to about the 15-yard line. Up to the 25. Ball comes loose, I believe. And the Huskies recover it, so it'll be first down for the Edmonton Huskies. Again, deep in their own zone at around the 24-yard line.
The interesting thing there, the Huskies that time went with 2 returners, and it was a nice job. And again, I believe that was Berzik, was it, returning?
Mm-hmm.
Or 20, no, it's 29. I believe that's Nickel, is it? But anyway, he got up the field. He got up the field quick and split 2 tacklers, so he picked up about 6 more yards. It was a very good punt by the Wildcat punter.
Matt Zeroni has had an outstanding game at punting.
He's kept him in field position.
There's the handoff.
And there's the flag. And that flag, where it's thrown, should be holding.
So it'll go against the Wildcats.
Injury update from the Huskies sideline. Medical staff is pretty concerned about Dylan Stanton's right hip at this point. They've got him taped literally around the midsection, but they're taking a close look, watching him jog a little bit. So Dylan Stanton, bit of a question mark as to whether he'll be returning in the first half. Guys?
And while you were speaking, Kevin, another whistle.
Huskies
it wasn't me, honest.
Timeout.
All right, this one's a timeout. With 10:15 to go here in this first half, Huskies lead it by a score of 14-0. That call went against the Huskies, by the way, and it's going to be second and about 20 when we get play back underway. The officials have certainly had a busy night. There's no question about that.
Well, one thing you find in this game that the way we teach blocking today, it's all taught with the hands. And you look at a lot of offensive linemen, they block where they pop their hands basically to the outside of the numbers. All the defensive lineman has to do is turn, and your hands will slide outside. They never slide inside. Mm-hmm. So they get on the side. An official sees that, and if a defensive player is trying to pull away from that and you got any shirt at all, you're going to get flagged. And a lot of times this goes on, they don't call it. But if they see it and it's blatant at all, they will. I'm surprised that more offensive linemen don't teach a narrow punch between the numbers. The hands are going to work out anyway, but you'll be in a position where you will not be called for holding. And it's difficult. I don't know how many holding calls we've seen in this season so far with all the teams that we've worked with.
All right, we are set to get play back underway. Ball down at the 14-yard line. 1st and 20. The Huskies leading this one 14-0. There's the fake. Back in the pocket. Look downfield into the middle. Complete to Bergeson. Bergeson to the 30. Still going and run out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. And run out on a nice defensive play by number 45, Jeremy Fanyon, out of Bonnyville High School.
And another flag down. And this one is in the secondary, so I don't know. Well, it looks like it's against the Wildcats. I wonder if they held or.
All right, we'll wait for the officials on this one. It's going to go against the Wildcats. They're talking it over with the Huskies.
I think it would be a 10 or 15-yard penalty. I think they're probably better off taking what they got. They're right on the yard mark. They'll decline the penalty.
Again,
I suspect it would be a defensive holding.
They will decline it.
You know, all those officials.
Well, now they're trying to decide whether they actually did make the first down or not. So obviously they did. And the officials have determined that they did make the first down. So it will be first down for the Edmonton Huskies. And they will move the ball up to about the 34-yard line.
That was a very well executed play by the Huskies, and Bergeson showed his running back skills there and came up and got just enough for the first.
Actually, guys, they're taking a measurement at this point. And it is
now get in
millimeters,
closer.
Guys. It's millimeters, guys.
You got to get in closer.
I'm going to give him a hand, Dave. Trust me. I'm going to get in there.
Kevin, you're confusing the viewers. We're playing in yards, my friend. It's inches.
Forgive me. Well, that was about a 16th of an inch there, Coach.
By the nose, by the nose of the football.
You bet.
We'll take it.
So it is going to be 2nd and inches.
Now, this is a good time for a play-action pass if you want to go for it all. Mm-hmm. And, you know, at this point of the game and where you are, it might be a pretty good idea to do it. However, the Huskies might just want to keep that momentum going and drive this defensive down and just go for the first down. Now, that being said, Brad is not under center. He is in a pistol formation.
Bergeson is flanked out to this side, and he has Nathan Filito out there with him as well.
Yeah, and Jacob Battenfelder's come in. He's a fullback. And
downfield, it's a free play. The pass, it is incomplete. Intended out there at around the 50-yard line. Can't quite get a number on him, but it looks to be number 26. Or number 86, rather. Tanner Buchanan. So a lot of players seeing their first action here tonight.
Well, they are. Buchanan's played a fair amount. He's a pretty good young player and working hard, and they went for it, and now they've got the first down with a quarterback sneak. So I was a little surprised. Usually on those, instead of sitting back there and throwing, you like to go play action because you can hold those linebackers for a bit. So sometimes you can poke just in behind them and get a big play.
I was thinking that that option sweep that they tried a few times a few games ago.
Could have actually done that. There's a lot of different things to do.
There's the handoff. Straight up the middle. Jimmy Airy takes it for a gain of close to 5 yards on the play. And you can't beat the way Jimmy Airy runs. He just pounds it in there. He's not a big guy by any means, but he's got all kinds of quick off the line, and he's a punishing type of runner.
Jimmy's got very good speed. He's got big hips and big legs, and he can deliver the lumber when he wants to. And he has been doing this the last 2 weeks. The first game that we did, he did not have a good game, and he was very frustrated. He's got nothing but better since then. And this is what you want out of your running back.
And picks up another 9 yards for the first down. They'll put it down at around the 49-yard line. So the Huskies offense keeping the ball on the ground for the most part, and just controlling the ball with 8:28 to go.
Control the field, control the clock, and wear out the Wildcat defense.
There's the snap again, a low one. There's the pass. It is incomplete. Intended on this side to number 3, Nathan Filito, that we mentioned earlier. Filito seeing some action.
And this is the thing now, you see they're bringing in some veteran receivers. The tight ends come out. Now they're going with slot. And you're going to see, instead of maxi protection, you're going to flood the field with the receivers.
Filito, second-year man from McNally High School.
Filito has tremendous speed.
There's the pass. It is incomplete, and I don't know whether it was a mix-up on the pattern or whatever, but it was intended for Darian Gromolski and thrown well short of him into the middle. They were in a zone defense, and Gromolski had all kinds of room out there.
He did. I think Brad just passed the ball, and I think he was pretty frustrated with himself on that one. He had Gromolski wide open. Break for the Wildcats. Now see if the Wildcats can take advantage of some things. And they might come with a punt block on this. Take a look now. The Huskies have an onside man out there.
They've got 2 receivers waiting at about their own 20-yard line.
Now he's coming up.
Good snap. Another high spiraling kick that's going to be short and taken at about the 43-yard line. Nice reception there by number 85 for the Wildcats, Isaac Fanyon. And again, he's been forced to take almost every one on the fly.
Well, here's a situation where the Wildcats came with a punt block and almost got the ball. Capelli got the ball away, and again, if you notice, the ball went straight up and it tailed. So it came down with the tail toward the punting team. The problem with that is that's very difficult to catch. And the return man made a wonderful catch on it, and he knew where people were. He's going to drive the no yards. Now, again, it should be just a 5-yard penalty. But when you take a look at it, it's going to be a net gain of about probably 7 yards to 10 yards for the Huskies at the very most.
All right, we are waiting for the officials, and all of them are all gathered around out there. No yards. It's going to go against the Huskies, number 88. Dylan Madaw, and it's going to be a 15-yarder.
And I'm a little surprised at that because of the way the ball tailed.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's up to the officials and their own judgment on that. And obviously they felt that even though the ball tailed, if it hits the ground and does that, it's going to be pretty well automatic. But I thought there they would give the benefit of the doubt. It would be a 5-yard penalty.
They mark it at the 53. There's a flag on the play and wrestle to the ground. Colton Hippie, and in there to make the tackle was number 36, Darian Nitty from Rutland High School in Kelowna, BC.
He's another one of these Husky linebackers that can really move, and he's got excellent speed, as you saw there. And the quarterback didn't have a chance. Nitty had outside leverage and made a very good tackle on a play.
Offside is going to be the call against the Huskies. And so it will be marched forward 5 yards, first down and 5. Ball now in Huskies territory at the 52-yard line. Wildcats have, for the most part, been benefiting from the flags here, especially in the second half, or in the second quarter, rather.
They have, and this has got to be concern for...
Here goes Bray Josu. We've been waiting for him to break one, and he moves ahead for a gain of close to 20 yards on the play. We'll call it 19 and a first down, and that's the first time we've had a chance to see Bray Josu finally break one.
And he showed the speed he's capable of. They blocked it well on the weak side here, and as he broke, you see the man who made the tackle was Troy Hansen, had to come up, who's been a linebacker. He's playing corner now, but more well known as a linebacker. Josu's got great speed.
Something that Colton Hippie needs to be concerned about is the snap. They've been consistently low, and there's the handoff to the right side now. Josu cuts into the middle and is stopped after a gain of close to, we'll call it 7 yards or so. And Bray Josu and the Edmonton Wildcats offense is on the move.
They are, and if you notice, they're stretching things wide here. Now they're going to probably come back with something inside in a bit. But with Josu, you want to get him to where he can get a gap. He's so quick that it messes up the linebacker angles.
The gain is 6. It's 2nd and 4. Ball on the 33-yard line. Motion goes to the right. They blow it down. And a timeout has been called. Timeout has been called. Yeah.
They did it just before the delay of game call. So the Wildcats are down one timeout. Now the Huskies on that, they showed a shift in their front and moved their linebackers. So it's going to be interesting to see if they go back to that right now.
That's probably, and that's why the timeout was called just before.
Could very well have been
before
because
the game clock went
Hippie might have been thinking of checking to something else, but that clock goes pretty quick. The coaches would have called that timeout, I suspect.
All right, the officials are now having another meeting around the football.
Those officials had a lot of meetings tonight.
2nd and 4. Ball on the Huskies' 33-yard line. Wildcats in possession. Colton Hippie at quarterback. Motion goes to the right. Looking downfield, Hippie gets away from one tackler, now takes off with it, heads to the sidelines, still going, and taken out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. He was hit a ton, and I think we're going to have another UR, and this one's going to go against the Huskies.
And they're going against Brendan Mellon. We'll have to take a look at that. Might have said a head-to-head shot. It looked like a good, clean hit to me, but hard to tell. Now the Huskies lose contain. Man comes inside. See him go out here. Oh, I don't know. That looked like a clean hit to me.
But it may have been out of bounds.
It might have been out of bounds.
I think he was hit out of bounds. Yeah. Take another look at this here. Well, we can't really see it on that angle, but on that original replay, I think it was pretty clear he was on the white when he was taken down. just one of those bang plays. I mean, it's really, really tough to call.
I think it might have been helmet to helmet, but where the blow took place was right up through the numbers. So.
For the Wildcats, the ball is on the Husky 3-yard line. It's 1st and goal. There's the snap, the handoff to Bray Joseph. He plows ahead to about the 1-yard line. And again, some late action. And again, the Huskies are going to be called for a UR, I believe.
This will be a first down for the Wildcats on the 1-yard line. Now, I don't know who it was that did it, but it was a late hit. And again, uncalled for.
One thing we can tell you from the sideline, guys, is that things are getting very intense. It's turned into a very, very chippy ball game.
Well,
I think it is against.
It's Brandon Stewart, linebacker, is who they're calling it on. And
all right, here we go. Everybody is up on the line of scrimmage, even Bray Joseph, but then they call it back. And plowing ahead is Colton Hippie.
He's in by the looks of it.
No signal from the officials. There it is, and the Wildcats are on the scoreboard.
Now, in that case, you're looking at where penalties really hurt the Huskies on that drive. The only one I would question is the one on the sideline. But other than that, the one by Stewart, we saw it from here, it was a very late hit.
That is one happy Wildcats bench down there. They are just celebrating a huge touchdown.
Well, it is, and here we are late in the quarter, and now we've got a game that's very close.
Point after to be tried by Jimmy Barnsley. Barnsley puts it through easily, and with 5:19 to go here in the first half, it is the Edmonton Huskies 14, the Edmonton Wildcats 7, and as I say, with 5:19 to go, and the momentum on the Wildcat side, we could be in for a barn burner of a second half, John.
It could very well be. It could be a very much of a barn burner the last 5 minutes. But Kevin said down below is very true. These games can get chippy with these two teams. They don't like one another. And even though a lot of them played high school ball together, when they get on these two teams, it is a battle out here in every game. And I know the last game was a big score, but it was still a battle. Now you got a close score, and every little thing counts. So these URs, whoever's taking them, become very, very important.
Do the coaches teach them that hatred? Or does it just come with the sweater?
It comes with a sweater. It's been going on since 1954, so it's been a lot of years.
Down to the 5-yard line, the ball taken by Troy Hansen, and Hansen tries the outside and is still with it, still taking it. He just will not quit. Troy Hansen is finally taken down at about the 18-yard line. He ran it back close to 9 yards in the play, but I think he probably ran half the length of the football field.
Well, and that's the thing that's very frustrating to some coaches. We had a lot of return men, and Troy tried there. He thought he could beat people to the sideline and get up the field. Mm-hmm. That very seldom happens. If you remember when Gizmo Williams was returning and doing such a great job, he always loved the middle return. You want to get a seam and get vertical. That's where you gain yards. And you can run a lot of yards and not gain any, and that's what happened there.
First down for the Huskies. Ball on the 17-yard line. Make that the 18. There's the fake. And again, Lonhart takes off up the middle, slides. As soon as I saw him look over to the sidelines to see where that marker was, he saw where it was, and he went into the slide immediately.
And he's short. He's about a yard short, but that's fine. He got 9 yards on the play, and now he's in pretty good shape again. Now, go play action pass. You can throw the ball. You can run the ball. This is what defenses don't like to be in, second and short.
Lonhart is the leading ground gainer for the Huskies. Surprise, surprise. The other guy right behind him, though, is Jimmy Airy, and Airy takes off with it and will pick up a gain of close to 15 yards on the play, and another first down as the Huskies offense now starts to move.
Now there's a case where Jimmy Airy showed what he's capable of. He got up the field, it was well blocked, but he got vertical, and he lowered the shoulder and delivered a blow to that man in the secondary. That hurts, trying to tackle somebody who'll do that to you. he's got a lot of power because of his speed and the size of his legs.
3 receivers to this side of the field. The pass downfield, and there obviously was a mix-up in patterns there. One of the receivers, I think, thought he had to go to the outside for that quick swing pass. And instead, Lonhart was looking downfield.
He was looking downfield, and we got Nathan Felito out here. He's fairly young, and I'm not sure. There's fairly complicated patterns in that they have here, and I'm not sure he's picking up on them. But Brad threw that away. He got clocked pretty good.
Second down, rolling to his right. The rush is on, and the pass is going to be incomplete. Down here to Felito, and Felito was nowhere near that one, just thrown out of bounds. And again, Lonhart very lucky that he wasn't thrown for a loss on that one.
Well, again, there's the experience of Brad. He came out on the boot. The defensive end was wide, played it wide, and he had to turn up inside, and he did, and he beat him, but he still couldn't get the pass where he wanted it.
So again, the Wildcats defense will hold, and they will have another possession with 3:22 to go in the first half. Luca Capelli to kick this one away. Low snap, gets it up, gets a better kick away now, down to about the 30-yard line. Taken by the Wildcats, number 22. Swinging to the outside is Isaiah Brown, and Brown is clocked at about the 35-yard line. Make that the 37. And the Wildcats, pretty good field position with 3 minutes to go.
Pretty good field position, and it was a much better punt, and it was defended extremely well by the Huskies. You watch, they force everything laterally, and the contained man out there makes the tackle. That's number 19, I believe, and it did a very good job. Now there's a flag on the play. It's a hold on the Wildcats, so it's going back 10 yards.
So they'll mark it off from the 35-yard line all the way back to the 25. And that pretty good field position turns into not so good field position.
Exactly right. Now we'll see if the Huskies can settle down. The Wildcats offense does have some momentum going down. Can they do something with it in the last 3 minutes?
Bray Josu is the lone setback. Colton Hippie still in at quarterback. 3 receivers out to this side of the field. And I think we are ready to get play underway. There's the handoff to the outside. Sweeping in and tackled after a gain of about 7 yards was number 25, Nolan Hunt.
There's that fly sweep again, and as they came out on it, did a very good job of defending it. Now he got only 2 yards on it. They strung it and were able to get up. And so here now you're in a 2nd and 8. That fly sweep, if it's run well and executed well, it's very tough to defend.
Motion going to the right. Looking downfield. Hippie is being hurried. He gets the pass away. It is almost picked off at about the 30-yard line. It was intended for Tristan Schultenkamper, and the Wildcats are going to go 2 and out on this one.
Now there's a case where Bryce Lee from his nose guard position did a tremendous job in getting pressure inside and then got help. And Hippie had to throw off his back foot. He was getting hit as he threw, so the ball had no velocity on it whatsoever and could very easily have been picked off. Now the Huskies are going to get the ball in pretty good field position here, Dave. They should get it in close to plus territory over the 55.
2:28 to go in the first half. Here's the kick from Matt Zeroni. Gets another high, towering kick all the way down to the Huskies' 40-yard line, taken there by Berzik. Berzik has run out of bounds just over the 50-yard line. All kinds of flags flying, and I think it's going to be a late hit out of bounds.
It looks like it. It is a very good job by Berzik. He tried to go wide a little bit and cut back and got on the vertical. And he gained about 7 or 8 yards just by getting up the field.
There it is.
Now this could be on Shane Samuel. Might have hit a Wildcat out of bounds. We'll have to take a look here. No, I think it's right there. That's where the flag is.
Couple of late hits there, no question about that. It is going to go against the Wildcats.
Now that's 15 yards, and you're going to be in the plus 45 for the Huskies. And they're in pretty good shape with a little over 2 minutes to go.
So they're calling it piling on twice.
Oh, that is 30 yards. That is huge. Dave, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen that. It looked to me like two guys hit him out of bounds about the same time. I don't know if that's the call. I question whether the rule says that. I don't know. Maybe it must. Those guys supposedly know what they're doing. I know that the Wildcat coaches will be livid about it.
All right, so Brad Lonhart takes over the ball on the 30-yard line. There's the handoff to Jimmy Airy. Airy has some room and is taken down just over the 15-yard line. They'll mark it down at about the 13. And Jimmy Airy, again, showing that explosive speed that he has.
This is the best game Jimmy Airy's had all year. He's got a real jump in his step, and you notice it that it looked like he was almost horse-collared there. It must have been a little lower on the jersey, but they just got him.
You got to be impressed, and like you say, this is probably Jimmy's best game of the year. We've been kind of waiting for him to break it loose all season, and really, with the running of Brad Lonhart, it's opened up some space for him.
It has, and the other part of it is the offensive line of the Huskies is blocking well. He's coming through there unscathed for at least the first 3 or 4 yards, and you give a back with Jimmy's speed that much room, he's going to gain a lot of yards on you. And here we go. We're seeing on the replay. Here he comes, well blocked. There they get a piece. Just low on the jersey, but it was a good tackle. And 15 yards, very good field position.
He had that hole open up just enough for him that he was able to make some good.
The difference, Dave, that Jimmy is doing now, and all young running backs that are watching this game can learn from what he's doing. He is running low, and that is very difficult to tackle. And he's not standing straight up and down. A lot of your running backs, the young guys, they run straight up and down, and they get drilled pretty good. But Jimmy is very low, and with the speed and the power he's got, it's very difficult to tackle.
Same thing with Bray Josu. He's got that low center of gravity, and he's hard to take down.
He does, and again, if you get him from tackle to tackle, very difficult to deal with him.
There it is again. Airy taking it. He has some room. Touchdown, Jimmy Airy. 15 yards into the end zone, and the Huskies capitalize.
Now, Jimmy made a very good cut on this play, and you watch it, and he stay low. You watch it, and he has to balance up. He gets hit, and right here, he balances up on the turf, and that enabled him to get in. And backs practice that all the time, but it's not easy to do.
And he has the ability to find that hole, too. It actually wasn't there until it opened up just at the last second.
And that's what you practice all the time, Dave, that you work with it. That the back has to understand the scheme of the blocking, that this hole will be there. Trust your lineman. It's going to be there. Hit it. And that's what he's doing. And the offensive line, I'll guarantee, is very happy. And the offensive line coaches will be very happy. Here it goes again. See that pop? Good balance up. Dive in the end zone.
Guys, just an update from the Huskies sideline. Head coach Ian McLean gathered his entire team together and was talking about discipline. Make sure that you don't let the emotions take over in this case, what we've seen in terms of the chippiness and the intensity. So Ian McLean gathered his team together, kind of read them the riot act a little bit, and told them to settle things down and don't take silly penalties. Another injury update, guys. Dylan Stanton, number 80, will be evaluated at the half. He's still, it looks like an oblique injury, kind of right between the bottom of the rib cage and the top of the hip. He's got the ice pack on, and he's moving pretty gingerly. Huskies medical staff say they'll take a look at halftime and take an assessment and see if he'll be back. Guys?
He is a very valuable receiver for this Huskies football team.
He certainly is a very consistent receiver.
And off the kickoff, the ball comes down to the 25-yard line. The Wildcats will take it over at that point. The run back by number 30, Morgan Runge from the Whitecourt Cats.
You know, it's kind of neat seeing players coming from Whitecourt and all over the province to play. And on both these teams, there's players from all over northern Alberta. They come to the city to play football. It's a lot of fun to see.
Colton Hippie at quarterback. Hands it off. Josu looking for some room on the outside. Then he cuts up the middle and is taken down after a gain of perhaps a yard or two on the play. You know, just while we're talking about that and players from out of town, they need to be put up. Wherever they need a place to live. They need billets, and that's always a big thing with these football players. And it's the people that actually do that are so important to these young men.
Well, it is, and in junior football, it's a little different from hockey. A lot of these fellas, they get a place themselves. The teams will help them do it, and then you'll get some players from outside that live together. Mm-hmm. And they all have jobs. A great majority of them have jobs. It's not like a lot of junior hockey where kids are going to school, going to high school. These kids have graduated from high school. They're either going to NAIT, Grant MacEwan, or some to the University of Alberta, or they're working. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are in the trades. So these young men, they get one finds a place, and the next thing you know, there's 4 or 5 living there. And it's kind of interesting to see, and it helps build that camaraderie within the team.
And these players, of course, can play until they're 22 years of age. So a lot of these are very mature young men. There's that kick again. And I tell you what, Matt Zeroni has just been outstanding. It comes down to about the 35-yard line. And the Wildcats are down there to make the tackle on Berzik. There is a flag. I think there's going to be a horse collar call on number 21. Jaden Dalkey, but we'll have to wait and see what the officials call.
It could be. We'll see what happens. But, again, there's a return man thinking he can beat people wide. The angles are such it is extremely difficult to do. You're much better off getting vertical and trying to pop a seam. And there we go with that almost looked like an illegal contact call.
Well, it's going against the Wildcats. You see the official. Here's the call.
It's either a hold or
illegal block.
I don't know how you get an illegal block from the defending team coming down.
We're right over top of these stands, folks, and there are a lot of very upset fans right now. With these officials. And here's Lonhart taking off with it at the 50 and stopped at about the 53-yard line. In there to make the tackle for the Wildcats was number 45, Jeremy Fanyon once again.
Now here's a situation where it's the first time I've seen Brad really hesitate when he comes in. You watch now, he's going down, and he just settled down. He didn't attack it that hard. So now it's 2nd and 2. There goes Airy. He's got the pop, got the first down.
Airy plowing up a gain of close to 6 yards. It'll be enough for the first down. And again, the Huskies with 59.5 seconds to go in the first half. They are on the move.
That actually was not Airy. That's Berzik in there. He's 22 and Airy's 32, so it looks the same.
Pass complete in the middle to Bergeson. Bergeson all the way down to the 25-yard line.
That was a big play, very well executed by the Huskies. Bergeson broke in very quickly into the secondary, and you see it here on the replay. Brad gets rid of it on time. They're playing a deep cover too, and they're by the looks of it, and they just popped the seam and picked up big yardage.
3 flankers to the far side of the field. Berzik is the lone setback. He takes off. Pass right side, complete to Berzik. Berzik has room at the 10, 5, tries to get around the final tackler, still going, and finally stopped at about the 4-yard line. In there to make the tackle was number 17, Matt Zeroni.
Now that almost looked like cover zero. It was man coverage, and I'm sure the safety was up on somebody. They get a little, almost like a rub right there, and that allowed Berzik to get outside. Good block by Grimalski. Gets down to the 5-yard line.
The Huskies knocking on the doorstep. 24.4 seconds to go. We have a timeout, and it's been called by the Huskies.
Now they will probably send in 2 plays here, maybe 3. They've got time for them. So you got first and goal on the 5. So they might get all 3 plays in depending on what happens. Coach Walters has been in this situation many, many times, so he'll set it up. Here comes the play again. There's that little, some people would call it a pick. We call it a deep rub. And
that's a
nice
legal
job.
pick as a rub.
Well, yeah. He actually didn't hit him that hard. He just made him break off his stride, so they'll never call it, or they should never call it. If he'd come up and blocked him or hit him hard, then they probably would have called it.
So they bring Harrison Cable into the game. He will likely go to that tight end position. The big guy. Bergeson still in there as well.
This will be a little interesting to see because usually number 17 and 34 are their tight ends. 17 is in. I don't see 34 in there. Yes, he is in there. He's in as a fullback. So this is a goal line offense here.
Well, they had 3 setbacks in behind the quarterback, and there it's the handoff to the third guy, and that's Berzik, and Berzik is in for the touchdown.
Berzik followed fullback Jacob Battenfelder into the end zone, but there's a flag down, and we'll have to see what it is. It's hard to believe, isn't it? A flag? Another flag?
It's going to go against the Huskies. So they run about 5 seconds off the clock, 19.1 to go. Wildcats looking to hold on, trailing by 14. They'll mark the ball at the 13-yard line. And it's going to still be first down. Probably for the Huskies, this is probably to their liking. They have a little bit more room to operate.
Well, it changes the dimension. Now you got the regular receivers in and so on. We're going to see a pass here, I'm pretty sure. I don't think you're going to see the ball on a run.
Cable is in at wide receiver this time, and into the end zone. The pass, it is short. Intended there. I believe it was number 85 for the Huskies, Darian Grimalski. Yes, it was. And he couldn't quite get to it. He had to come back to it, and it was just a little bit too short.
And it was a bad ball. I really think that Brad on this, he didn't put it exactly where he wanted it. But you never know. That could have been that the receiver could not have gone around on the route.
Good job by Jaden Dalkey, too, on the coverage. Motion goes to the right. Back in the pocket. Lonhart looking into the corner. The pass, it is complete. Touchdown! Devin Moss.
Now that was a very good ball, and nice job by Brad. He put air under it, got it out away from the defender. They know it's man coverage down there, and you watch this. Look at the time, and he puts air under the ball, brings it right down. Good concentration by the receiver.
Rookie Devin Moss from Camrose, the Camrose Trojans. And that's got to be a big touchdown for him in his career. 5'10", 170 pounds. Here's the point after. It's going to be good. It's a 28-7 football game in favor of the Edmonton Huskies over the Edmonton Wildcats with 9.9 seconds to go in the first half. The Wildcats have a little bit of thinking to do here in the dressing room between halves, and they are not in as bad a position as they were the last time.
No, they aren't, and actually they are playing pretty well in areas. But here, the Huskies have been the ball, and if you notice in this last drive, Jimmy Airy was not in there. It was Brent Berzik, and they're moving the ball with him. Now, he doesn't have quite the speed that Jimmy has, but he does have the quick feet. He's got great balance. To give it a freshman that amount of playing time tells you how good he is. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this next half. Now, the Wildcats will try to get a good return here, I would think, and see what they can do with it. They don't have much time.
I'm really impressed with the way Ian McLean has come out and said to some of his rookies, okay, this is your turn to shine, and a couple of them have really done that. Here's the short kick. It'll go down to the 35-yard line, and the Wildcats will take over with 7 seconds to go, but there is a flag. It's offside on the kickoff.
It's offside on the Huskies. They had 3 people over the line of scrimmage on the kickoff, and some of that might be because of the rookie kicker and his timing, how he's coming up to the ball, and it's not like it is as you do it with their previous kicker who has been here for 2 years. And it's just something that they'll learn.
Probably the first time he's ever had to try, well, it is the first time he's ever had to try the little squibber.
All they're trying to do on that is they squibbing it for a reason. They're trying to get the return team now to have to handle a ball with 9 seconds, get it down as many seconds as possible. They don't think they have much of a chance to go deep. They'll probably be in a cover 4, loose cover 4 here.
Quads on this side of the field, looking down, looking deep. The ball is up. It's anybody's football, and it's taken at the 43-yard line with 0.4 seconds to go. And the catch made by number 85, Isaac Fanyon.
Interesting thing there, Justin Hudinsky, the safety for the Huskies. Look at it on the replay. Now he's going to come hard to the ball. Watch him jump the ball. He thinks he can get it. Well, he's not quite that tall, and that ball just got over him, and a nice catch by the receiver.
All right, last play of this first half, barring a penalty. Hippie again looking downfield. It's anybody's football. Taken by Tristan Schultenkamper and run out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Well, what a way to end the first half of football.
Now, there's junior football. Here's the young defensive back, went for the ball and absolutely tipped it to the receiver. And it's very good that the Huskies had somebody a little deeper to make that tackle, or it was in the end zone. Very great concentration on that by Schultenkamper.
And the one time that I'll bet you Coach Darcy Park was hoping for a flag.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a case, I think, on this one. It might have been Mellon. No, it was Troy Hansen went for the ball. And here's an interesting thing. Troy Hansen went for the ball. Schultenkamper made the catch. Okay.
All right, let's go downstairs, and here is Kevin.
Thanks a lot, Dave. I'm here with head coach Ian McLean of the Edmonton Huskies. You've got a lead, but tell us how you're feeling after that first half.
We're having discipline problems again. We're giving a lot of yards for free, and that's stuff that can't happen if you want to be a good football team, win football games. We got to make sure that we're doing our job and that we're not giving free plays. And we can't have things at the end of the half where we give up long passes like that. We should be playing that better.
Now, you gathered the team together late in the half, and you talked a little bit about discipline with the players as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we are an aggressive football team. That's one of the things that we enjoy being. But if it's hurting ourselves, if it's doing stuff that is hurting us and giving free first downs, taking away sacks, it's detrimental to the team. We got to make sure we're playing smart. We got to be a smarter football team.
But the positive has to be the offensive line. You've got Airy, Burzik, Lonhart, lots of room to run. The offensive line has been dominant in that first half.
They've played well. We worked all bye week on being better as an offensive line, getting off the ball, it's getting contact, and they've shown that. We have a lot of plays that we're leaving on the field. I mean, we've got some reads on our running backs that have to improve. We can still be running. So.
And going into the room at half, what are we telling the players, or can we share that?
To not be stupid. That's the biggest thing I'm going to talk to them about right now.
Sounds great. Okay, that's head coach Ian McLean of the Edmonton Huskies. Back upstairs to Dave and the coach, John Belmont. Gentlemen.
Ian McLean put it very succinctly. Don't be stupid out there. It cost them a touchdown. There's no doubt about that. At that one touchdown that the Wildcats got, they had some discipline problems on that whole drive. And I'll tell you what, Ian McLean, I obviously had that discussion with the players out there on the field, as you mentioned. And he certainly, I think, put them to the test, and they didn't come up with those URs.
Well, it's going to see in the third quarter, and Darcy Park will be saying exactly the same thing.
All right, let's go back downstairs, and Kevin has a guest.
Well, thanks a lot, Dave. Welcome back to the sideline at Clark Park in this ICU video production procast of this Prairie Football Conference game between the Wildcats and the Huskies. The score at halftime, the Edmonton Huskies 28, the Edmonton Wildcats 7. I'm pleased to be joined by my halftime guest, the president of the Edmonton Huskies Football Club and the vice president of the Prairie Football Conference, Mr. Curtis Craig. Welcome, Curtis. What an intense football game. This rivalry is alive.
It always is. It's always one of the best games of the year for the fans across the league. Great rivalry. Doesn't matter who has what record because it's always a game that's always an issue. Even though the score was lopsided last game, we didn't take anything for granted. We're still not. This is not much of a lead when these two teams get together.
Now, the Huskies very much alive in the playoff race. You're in the mix. What does this team have to do not only to secure the playoff spot, but to make some noise in the playoffs, get in the tournament, maybe even pull off an upset? What do the Huskies have to do to take that next step?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, as I just alluded to, not to take anyone for granted. We play Winnipeg. Winnipeg came off a huge win today in BC. I think it was 35-0. And so if we do pull out the win tonight, we're just tied with them. And next week will be to decide that fourth spot. But there's a lot of football left. As you know, there's the extra game this year. And so the biggest thing is going to be that one game against Calgary if you talk about momentum in the playoffs because they're the team to beat this year.
Now, going ahead, we just mentioned you've got that extra game against the Wildcats, and that comes up right away on October 1st. Let's fill the park for that one.
Well, that'd be fantastic. You see a lot of football teams in the stands tonight, bantam ranks, high school ranks, and it's something both teams have done throughout the years is always let the players in because they're the next generation Huskies, next generation Wildcats, and hopefully it's going to bring a lot more fans out. It's something we've always been striving for.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank my halftime guest, Curtis Craig, the president of the Edmonton Huskies, for joining me at the half of this ICU video procast here on the sideline. And in just a few moments, we'll chat with Darcy Park, the head coach of the Wildcats, as we get ready for the second half. Now let's go back upstairs and send things up to Dave Rozak and the coach, John Belmont, who will take a look at the stats of a very exciting and a very intense first half. Gentlemen.
Kevin, just before we do that, I'm going to get you to do me a favor if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely.
And put the headphones on that good-looking young man down there.
He is a good-looking young man. I'm going to put these headphones on.
Just a couple of questions. I want to,
Curtis.
Just a couple of questions.
Dave, but I'll let you answer the question.
Okay.
Hi, Curtis. It's Dave Rozak up here.
Hi, Dave.
How you doing? Got a question for you. This is a pretty historic day in terms of the Prairie Football Conference, with two of the teams heading out west to BC and playing against the BC Football Conference. Tell me what it means to the Huskies and the Wildcats and the PFC in general.
Well, we were hoping to actually have all 6 PFC teams involved with BC teams, but hopefully the two games that went on this year, Saskatoon is playing in Okanagan. We're hoping that it's going to branch out to all 6 teams, but for now, I think it's an important step for the league as a whole because what we're trying to do is through interconference is spawn a lot more interest, and hopefully it's something we're going to build upon.
And that leads me to my next question. 3 games between these 3 teams. Does that not build a more sense of rivalry between the Huskies and the Wildcats? And would you like to see that particular scenario continued in the following years?
I think if we just played one game, there'd be that intense rivalry. It was part of the reason we didn't have an exhibition game this year because 4 games would probably be overloaded, and then God forbid if it was 5 in the same season because it just builds the crescendo of the intensity between the teams. This is a lot more intense game than what I think we saw the first one, and I think the third one will be almost like a playoff atmosphere.
All right, thanks a lot, Curtis Craig. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, back upstairs here, and with me is John Belmont.
Let's send it back up to Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. John Belmont is with me, and John, we've got the statistics in front of us, and I'll tell you what, there are some pretty telling numbers out there. Most obvious is the 320 yards total offense for the Huskies to the 168 of the Wildcats.
And you look at it, it's both on the ground and through the air. The Huskies have controlled the ball in this first half. Outside of that one drive that the Wildcats got into the end zone on, which a big part of it was penalties, they have not done an awful lot to the Husky defense.
Brad Lonhart started this game off by running with that play action of his, the fake handoffs and taking off with the football in the first quarter. Not so much in the second quarter. That's when Jimmy Airy took over.
And it's also, I'm sure, what the Husky coaches are happy to see, because they don't want Brad running all that much. And Jimmy, as we said, is running the best he has run all year. And his other running backs are running the ball well. They're using a little more varied attack. They're using more with tight ends. They're using more of saw a little bit of two-back where they were down into the goal line area, and they scored on that. So there is an awful lot that they are doing that is a varied offense, which is nice to see.
On the passing game, Lonhart attempted 19 passes, completed 10 of them for 161 yards, the longest being 25 and a couple of touchdowns. Colton Hippie, on the other hand, attempted 13 passes, completed 7 of those, so that's more than a 50% average, 121 yards. His longest was 37. What have you seen of Colton Hippie tonight that we didn't see the last time these two teams met?
Well, he's getting a little more time. In the previous game, he got back there and he was getting linebackers in his face, defensive linemen in his face. This game, his offensive line is blocking better. Again, he's getting rid of the ball a little quicker. And this is all part of the process of learning to be a quarterback in this league. Remember, Brad Lonhart is in his 4th or 5th year. Mm-hmm. He's been around. He understands the league. It's slowed down for him. Colton Hippie is basically in just his 2nd year of playing junior football.
And I think he was told before the game during the week that, we have Austin Erickson sitting there in the sidelines. He has played, he has seen some action the first 3 games of the season, and he is waiting to see some action in this game. But the way Colton's playing, you got to be impressed.
I'm impressed with him, and again, as coaches, we have to be patient. Mm-hmm. This is such a tough league to play in, and the Huskies are a very, very physical defense. Both their secondary and their front. So it's hard to go against.
One of the telling tales of this game, I think anyway, has been the play of the special teams, particularly the punters in this game. Matt Zeroni has just been outstanding with 5 punts for 247 yards. His longest was 60 yards. Luca Capelli, seeing his first action in the Prairie Football Conference after only 1 year of football, period, up in St. Albert. He has attempted 5 for 144 yards. His longest was 35. So I think that's really been, that is what, 25 yards difference between the two punters.
Absolutely, and the biggest part of that is that if you look at what Zeroni's doing, he is forcing the Huskies to start from deep. And he has been a massive part of what their entire team has done. And I personally think he is the best player for the Wildcats tonight.
All right, so we're going to be hearing from Darcy Park in just a couple of minutes here with Kevin. What is he telling his charges in the dressing room?
Well, this sounds funny because you hear it all the time, but it's one play at a time and keep discipline. It's tough because of the tremendous rivalry, the intensity of the game, and the dislike that each team has for one another. But Darcy knows that if they try to do too many big things, they're just going to turn the ball over. So they have to get some momentum going, and they've tried to keep the Wildcat defense off the field as much as possible.
Given the scores in the last few games that the Wildcats have been involved in, how difficult is it going to be for him to convince these guys that, hey, they're still in this game, they're only down by 3 touchdowns?
I don't think it will be that difficult. He's got a lot of very good ball players on this team, some good veterans and some outstanding young players. So I don't think he'll have a lot of trouble convincing them.
All right, I think we're just about set to go downstairs. Kevin Donnan is attempting to get hold of Coach Darcy Park of the Edmonton Wildcats, and he is there, so let's go downstairs.
I am with head coach Darcy Park of the Wildcats. What did you tell your players at the half?
I mean, we let the foot off the gas a little bit in the last 3 minutes of that half, and they got 2 scores. I'm really proud of the effort. We got to be a lot more disciplined in the second half, and I know our offense starts the second half off, and we just talking about getting first downs and let's get that field position back.
And you're still in the ball game. A couple of big plays, and you're more than back in this thing. Is it a matter of getting Josu into space? Hippie had a good first half, but what do you have to do offensively to get back into this game?
It's just consistency. Our guys proved out there that they can make plays in this game, but we're shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit. So we just said it's just you've proven that you can do it. It's just being consistent. If they get some momentum, you got to make the plays to get the momentum back. And if we get momentum, we got to carry it on through all 3 phases of the game.
Our coach John Belmont mentioned during the halftime, Matt Zeroni had to be your best player of the first half. I mean, he was a difference maker for your ball club.
Yeah, our special teams were awesome in terms of getting us field position and making the swing, and Matt's a big part of that. We'd like to get a little more yards in our return game, but Matt's done a great job punting so far.
Okay, thanks a lot. Good luck the rest of the way. That was head coach Darcy Park of the Edmonton Wildcats. Now back upstairs for the second half of round 2 of the Battle of Edmonton. Gentlemen, we've got another intense half coming our way.
It is going to be exactly that, intense, no question about it. With the score being 28-7 in favor of the Edmonton Huskies. Just listening to Darcy Park, you can tell just how excited he is about this football game. His voice is going very, very quickly. I don't know whether it'll be able to last another half of football, but he wants this game. He wants it bad. And, even if he doesn't get the win, at least something better than a whatever it was difference the last football game, 39 points or something.
We've seen a tremendous improvement in the Wildcats. Again, they're getting off the ball better. They're protecting their quarterback a lot better. They're getting better push on their run game, and that's important. And again, they've got to do more of it to try and get and make sure that we get our defense to stay off the field.
And guys from the sideline, one thing you want to take note of for this second half, the great equalizer is starting to appear, and that is the rain has begun down here at field level.
There you go.
That's why we're in the booth.
Get out the umbrella, Kev.
Yeah, I hope you're comfy, Coach.
All right, we are getting set to start this second half of football. And there you can see it. Oh, it is coming down. Luca Capelli to kick off to the Wildcats. Waiting at about the 10-yard line. Good end-over-end kick down to the 5. Taken there by number 85 for the Wildcats, Fanyon. Fanyon has some room now. He cuts to the middle and is taken down just over the 25 at about the 27-yard line. So good field position for the Wildcats as they kick things off here in the second half.
As Coach Park mentioned, he would have liked a little better on the return. That was actually a low kick by Capelli. It was good and deep, but it was low and enabled a good return. But they didn't get what they wanted. They wanted to be over the 35.
All right, ball is on the 26-yard line. Colton Hippie, the quarterback, moves to his right, fires, and it is complete and taken down quickly. And feeling the effects of it was number 85 again, Isaac Fanyon.
And that was number 15 again, Brandon Mellon, that came up quickly to make that tackle. Now, he's the young man that got that UR on the sideline, and I think he will settle down and play good football here this half.
He's second leading tackler on this Huskies football team with 11 tackles going into this game. Again, Hippie out of the shotgun. Into the middle. It is complete. Just shy of center field. And the pass taken there by number 81, Luther Hakuna. I knew I was going to have a problem with that one again. Hakunavanu.
Now there is a flag down, but they're picking it up, so I don't know what the situation is. On that play, Justin Hudinsky, the safety, he undercut that ball. If he'd have played that, he might have had a play. Now, this has got to be roughing the passer. This has to be a UR.
It is roughing the passer, and that's going to move the football down to the 43-yard line of the Huskies. The Wildcats continue to benefit from that orange flag.
You see Hadinsky there undercut the ball and missed it, caused a problem.
Hippie firing it complete along the sidelines, taken by number 8 Brandon Olson, and Olson will pick up a gain of close to 8 yards, 9 yards on the play. One thing I'm noticing, Coach, is that Hippie is throwing the ball with so much more confidence and authority.
Confidence and authority, and if you notice, they're running a lot of quick passes and letting the receivers run. Very good job by Brandon Olson on that and getting vertical, getting close to the first down. Now they're in good position.
All right, 4 men down for the Huskies. There's the handoff up the middle. Bray Josu.
That's going to be a first down, I think.
He'll
from
have
the looks
enough.
of it. It certainly looks like it. But again, the offensive line now, the Wildcats starting to get some push on the defensive line of the Huskies.
Josu, the leading ball carrier for the Wildcats, and he's been put into a really untenable situation coming into this season. The Wildcats were hoping for some real running power out of their backfield, but injuries and the like, and all of a sudden they've got Bray Josu and their fullback Jordan Samuel.
That's right. And now this is short. I don't know how the ball placement was on this, because it certainly looked like he had it. But third and less than a yard, I'm sure they're going to go for it. And Hippie, he's a big, strong, young quarterback. This front will try to get a low push and just drive for the first down. And the Huskies are going to dig in tight with their inside people. The linebackers, Brandon Stewart and Cabello, will try to come over the top to make the hit.
3rd and half a yard for the Wildcats. They plow it ahead and getting a push from behind from Bray Josu. Colton Hippie makes it all the way up to the 30-yard line, and enough for the first down. So that certainly turns things around from the first half when they had that similar situation and didn't quite make it.
It certainly is, and they got a real good push from their front on that. A very good push to get the first down.
You take a look at we got a good picture there of Colton Hippie. He is in control, something that we haven't seen here this season. There's the pass. It is short, incomplete, and intended out there on the far side for number 80 from the Wildcats, Brandon Rednord.
A lot of young quarterbacks have a little difficult time if they're right-handed throwing to their left, especially when they're running to it. And it looked to me like just his mechanics were off a little bit. Coach Stead will work with him on that, and they'll get it straightened out.
That's when you've got to throw across your body?
No, and not in this case. It's he's looking straight at him, and he's moving toward him. But more than anything, lots of times you take too much off the ball.
Right.
And in that case, he underthrew it.
Josu, the setback, he moves up. Now, looking downfield, pass, it is complete at the 15-yard line. Up there to take it was Tristan Schultenkamper, and Schultenkamper will pick up enough for the first down. The Wildcats trailing by 3 touchdowns and on the move here early in the third quarter.
Now they were in a deep zone there. Jason Brown was deep. And you look at that ball that just dragged in behind him with the receiver. They had another receiver crossing, and Schultenkamper made a nice catch on it.
Handoff, once again, Bray Josu, and Josu gets up over the 10-yard line.
Now again, what you're seeing here, the Wildcat offensive line is getting push on the Huskies defensive line, and they're starting to manhandle them a little bit. So you might see a little change in the fronts here. They might shift a little bit and bring a little more power up front.
We've got 3 flankers to this side of the field, 2 to the other side. Josu in the backfield. There's the fake and the pass into the end zone. It is picked off by the Huskies. And in there to take the interception was Daniel Logali, using his big 6'1" frame to reach up and pick that one
There's
off.
a UR on the Huskies.
Wow.
They got a hit out here, and you're going to see it right here as he passed the ball. Logali made a great play on that. He cut it real well. But when you take a look at this, it is a late hit, and there's no question about it. There was no need for it. And this is going to bother the Husky coaching staff tremendously because they had the pick in the end zone, and this is going to put the ball. This is a 15-yard penalty, and from where the line of scrimmage is, which is about the 15, it's going to be on the 1-yard line, first down.
All right, here's the call from the officials. Personal foul. And they will move it down to the 1-yard line, as you said, John, and the Wildcats with the 3 downs to get it in for the touchdown. This is going to be huge for Darcy Park and his Charges.
And this is exactly what Coach Park wanted to have happen. He wanted a drive. He did get this momentum going, and they're doing a very good job of it.
Colton Hippie is not going to make it. He tries for the second push, and he's in for the touchdown. And that was all Colton Hippie.
He just kept his feet moving and bounced off and was able to slide in on the wide side of the field. Did a very good job. Hippie looked very confident in this entire drive.
You know, I'm really impressed with the young man. He was just this far from losing his job as the starting quarterback, just that far away from it. I know that Austin Erickson has been impressive in his relief efforts in the last couple of games, but Hippie took the challenge, and he's been up to it in this football game.
But this tells you what type of a competitor that the young man is, and that's, I'm sure, exactly what Coach Park, what Coach Stead have wanted to see from him. And he certainly delivered it in that drive. He had a very good drive.
All right, it's a 28-14 football game. We've got 10:40 to go in the third quarter. Don't go away, folks. Unlike most of our past procasts, this one could be a barn burner.
Could be. It's going to be interesting now to see how the Huskies respond with a drive and how the Wildcat defense responds, because this momentum doesn't just happen for the offense of the Wildcats. This is for their whole team. Mm-hmm. And they're going to pick up. Now, it'll be interesting to see because the Huskies now have to change the momentum. Can they do it?
Jimmy Barnsley is the kickoff man for the Edmonton Wildcats. And he is listed in the top 4 or 5 in the league. Here he goes. Gets a good driving end-over-end kick down to about the 5-yard line. It's taken there by number 20 for the Huskies, Troy Hansen. Hansen has some room and is finally stopped at about the 25. So a run back of close to 20 yards for Troy Hansen, and the Huskies offense is on the field.
But again, and this also happened with the Wildcats last one, you notice he just got to the 25. They're not getting to the 35 where they would like to get. And this is something that both special teams coordinators are going to be a little upset with, and they're going to have to work on it because they're not getting the seams to run through.
Especially with that low driving kind of kick that Barnsley has, you'd think that they would probably have enough time to get back.
They should. It's just they're not getting it done.
Here goes Lonhart. He looks long and fires into the middle, and it is complete to number 85. And who else but Darian Grimalski. Grimalski starting to come into his own here in the second half.
He's got to take over for Dylan Stanton, and it's one thing. He's a veteran receiver, and Brad Lonhart is confident in him, so he's going to him.
Handoff, Burzik. Burzik gets enough for the first down, a gain of close to 12 yards on the play. Oh, that was Jimmy Airy, 32.
Airy. Yeah, and it's hard with the 32 and the 22. But again, Jimmy's showing the power in this game. And you watch him, he's carrying people. He's staying low. He's running very, very hard. It's very impressive.
Well, they mark it back at the 52-yard line, so he is going to be short by about a yard. So it's 2nd and 1. Ball on the 52. Snap, handoff, Airy. Airy takes it across the line of scrimmage and all the way up to about the 51-yard line into Wildcats territory.
That's one thing that you saw in there. Again, Jimmy hit it low and got the yardage. But you look downfield, and you don't see it on the screen here, but Tyler Dietrich, the left tackle, drove his man 15 yards down the field. this is what the Huskies want to do. They want to move that ball hard on the ground.
Airy again has some room to the outside, and a nice job coming across by number 17 for the Wildcats. That is, of course, Matt Zeroni. Zeroni doing a good job from his defensive corner position, and as well as on his punting.
Absolutely. And you know, it's an interesting thing there. Jimmy would have had to get a good burst on that. There's he's trying to beat a man of the sideline. Very difficult to do in this league. You've got to get up a seam. You have to get vertical.
Gain of 3. 2nd and 7. Looking long. The pass, it is complete. What a catch in there by number 85, Darian Gromolski. And what a throw by Lonhart. He literally had to thread the needle on that one.
He did, and we just got, I think, an objectionable conduct penalty on the Wildcats. But there's a case where Brad had a very small window to put that ball into. He dropped it in. He has tremendous confidence in Darian Gromolski. Again, a veteran receiver. He knows him real well. Practiced with him for the last few years. So we're ending up now in pretty good shape with him dropping the ball in there. But now the Huskies are going to get the ball down about the 1 yard line, I believe. This should be about a 10-yard penalty if it's objectionable conduct. And 10 or 15, it'll go to the 1.
Well, the ball is they have the line of scrimmage marked at about the 16-yard line, so they'll likely mark it down at the 6.
They're having another discussion. Been a lot of those tonight.
Bit of an injury update from the Huskies sidelines. Coach Belmont mentioned Dylan Stanton. I can tell you that the Huskies medical staff hasn't confirmed whether he will return, but he is still walking very gingerly on that right hip, sort of that oblique area, and does not have his helmet on. He looks like he is done for the evening, gentlemen.
Is that the prototypical pointer?
Well, it could be a hip pointer. It's hard to tell whether a shoulder pad popped that or whatever, but if it is up in the obliques, if those get bruised, they can be very, very painful.
So they mark it half the distance to the goal line, which will put it down at around the, well, we'll say the 7-yard line. So it'll be first down for the Huskies. 7:53 to go in the third quarter. All the motion goes to the right. Bergeson is out there. Harrison is out there. The handoff to Jimmy Airy, and Airy is stopped behind the line of scrimmage at about the 11-yard line. And that's the first time that we've seen that Edmonton Wildcats defensive line get into the backfield.
They really penetrated on this play, and that's one thing you find. You get down into goal line areas, a lot of defenses run penetrating defenses. So you want to do something to alleviate that. You either get it quick outside, you play action pass. You can, a type of cross block. They pulled on that, and they still, the defense still got seepage.
Jeremy Fanyon coming up from his linebacker position to make the tackle. Here's the pass. It is knocked down. And play is whistled down. Incomplete pass, but again, that Edmonton Wildcats defensive line is on the move.
They did. They got off the ball again. That's the second play in a row. They got off the ball real well. So now the Huskies have got to go for a field goal, and we'll see if they can make this happen.
Luca Capelli attempting his first field goal here in the Prairie Football Conference. 1 year of football under his belt in St. Albert with the Skyhawks, and before that he was a pretty good soccer player.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know so many of these kickers today are soccer players.
And
wide.
Okay, that one is going into the next county.
Yeah.
Long and low, but wide. And so it will go for a single point. It's 29-14 in favor of the Huskies. And how big a break is that?
Well, it's a break, but again, it's a situation. You have a young kicker, and I'm sure he's nervous on that kick. Might have taken a wrong step, whatever. The key now is the Wildcats still have the momentum. The Huskies had the opportunity to take it back, but the Wildcat defensive front played extremely well in that drive.
So the Wildcats take the ball over on their own 35-yard line. Hippie back in the pocket, throws into the middle, complete to Schultenkamper. And Schultenkamper is going to be just shy of the first down. And now that's happened a couple of times with those passes into the middle. They've been they're not quite sure of their position on the field.
Well, and part of that is the defense that the Huskies are playing. They're having to shorten their routes a little bit, but they are getting 9 yards, which puts them in pretty good shape. You like to be in a 2nd and 1 situation a lot.
Free play. Twin setbacks, handoff up the middle, caught in behind the line of scrimmage was number 7 for the Wildcats, Jordan Samuel. And the Huskies defense coming up big.
Now they brought linebackers on that, but that was the defensive end, 91, who came in, knifed through, and made a very good tackle. Very good tackle.
Donovan Bergmeyer.
Camrose, if I remember right.
Salisbury Sabres.
Well, he's from the Salisbury Sabres.
One of
pretty good.
One of Blake
player.
Dermott's old charges.
Yeah.
All right, so it's going to be 3rd and about a long 3 or long 2 rather. They're going to go for it.
Oh, they're
no, they're
punting.
not. I'm sorry. And again, Zeroni gets one away, taken on the run, and downfield is Berzik. Berzik is stopped about the 54-yard line, and that time it was the Huskies who were able to get the punt on the run.
Well, and here's a case where Berzik played that beautifully. He attacked it. Then for young return people, this is what they should be looking at. Now here we got a penalty on the play. Now, was it no yards or is it a holding call?
Now we'll wait and see what the officials call on this one.
Well, that was a very good return by Berzik, and again, for young return people, this is what you want to do. You do not want that ball hitting the turf because you don't know where that ball's going. Mm-hmm. Catch it in the air, attack it.
Berzik has really come into his own in the punt return and kickoff return field, replacing Darian Weeks, who is probably gone for the rest of the season, and they will miss him.
They will miss him, but again, they've got enough people that they can make things happen. So they're very, very fortunate in that they have a lot of good young receivers with the Huskies.
All right, it was holding and no yards. They are both declined, and the Huskies will take the football over at their own 53-yard line.
Now again, can the Huskies answer the call? Will the Wildcat defensive front continue to do what they're doing?
Sounding more like a soap opera than anything else. You make it sound like a soap opera.
Well, you know, the games can be that way. The momentum shifts are very interesting in football. It's such an explosive game. But if you get drives going and you get that momentum going, it's sometimes very difficult to break the momentum of a team. Now, the Huskies, I think, have a little more experience in areas, and they're probably better able to handle that than the Wildcats are at this time.
Okay, there is a timeout on the field, by the way.
Wildcats took a timeout. They were missing a defender out there, so the Wildcats have lost one of their 2 timeouts in this half, and that could prove a challenge later on in the game if it stays close.
There you saw Ian McLean in your picture discussing things with a couple of the officials, and there you see on the other side of the field Darcy Park pacing up and down.
Coaches tend to pace. You could put a lot of miles in a game.
All right, here go the Huskies on their own 53-yard line. Brad Lonhart has gone all the way at quarterback for the Huskies. He'll roll to his right, looks downfield. Now he's being hurried, gets the ball away. Pass is complete and taken there by number 86, Tanner Buchanan. But I think we're going to have a holding call, John.
It could be a holding call. I don't know if it was a leg hit on the quarterback, but no, it is holding on the Huskies, so it's going to be 1st and 20.
5:32 to go in the third quarter. And again, the Wildcats continue to benefit from the orange flag for the most part.
Well, and again, this is where Coach McLean talked about it at the half, that it was something they had to clean up, and they have not cleaned it up.
All right, the call goes against the Huskies, number 50. Well, I don't see 53 on our list, but
Could have been 63, which would be Theron Churchill, but from where the flag came out, I think it would be from the left side of the line.
Lonhart stalls the count, then starts again. Handoff, Airy. Airy goes to the right side, has some room there, but it's quickly closed off, and he is stopped for a gain of perhaps 2 yards on the play.
Again, on that, Jimmy tried to get outside. Now, I don't know what the blocking scheme was on the play, but he tried to get outside, and the angles are very difficult. The linebackers are so quick, and if you have to turn up sometime. Oh, the Wildcats, maybe that's why they made that play. They had too many men on the field. That's one way to stop Jimmy Airy. Play 13.
All right, so that will make it a first down. 1st and 10. The ball on the 53-yard line. There's the fake handoff, and again, Lonhart.
That zone read again, and again, very well executed by Brad. And in a way, you feel sorry for the Wildcats from the point of view that Jimmy Airy's been running very well in this game, and they fake that handoff to him, ride him, they close down on Jimmy, and away goes Brad. Now they've got the Wildcats have an injury, and you don't like to see these things on the field, but it does happen. And today with artificial turf, even field turf, the turf grabs the foot, and so many times you'll see people get ankle injuries, knee injuries, when there hasn't even been a hard hit, and it's very difficult to deal with.
I'm gonna try and get
21 Jaden Dalkey, guys, who's down, and as Coach Belmont mentioned, with field turf, the one thing that studies have shown is that it's not so much knees anymore, where it used to be the old carpet over cement. But with field turf, one of the things that they've discovered is that high ankle sprains are more common than they ever used to be. But right now they're taking a look at Dalkey's left knee and his ankle at this point.
And they will miss him. There's no question about that. He leads the team in tackles going into this game with 16. And the Leduc comp grad, 6'2", 190 pounds, has been a standout for the Wildcats in this game tonight.
You know, it's interesting. You see it with Dalkey, and of course on the Huskies, they have Harrison Cable, both boys from Leduc playing against each other. With the Wildcats, you see Schulten Camper, you see Brandon Olson, both from Jasper Place High School, and the Huskies.
Tony Savchuk.
And Tony Savchuk, very, very good safety. And then you take a look on the Huskies, and you've got Troy Hansen, you have Brandon Mellon. You know, you got pretty good ball players from that high school playing against each other. And they were very good friends, went up through the Western Raiders program and did a good job through the Raiders and then at JP. And then some have gone to the Wildcats, some to the Huskies.
There you see Coach Darcy Park actually now coming out to take a look at Dalkey. I don't know whether this is more serious than we think it is, or
it's hard to tell. That the trainers are going to do every test they have to do and make sure things. Dr. Jim Adams is out there. He's a very good doctor, and of course a former trainer of the Edmonton Eskimos, and a man who knows injuries as well as anybody in this community.
I sure hope so, because he's my doctor.
Oh, by God, and he gets lots of practice on you, doesn't he?
All right, they are continuing to work on him. They are going to. All right, Dalkey is up. Well, that's a good sign there.
Yeah, it sure is.
Fine, guys, it's a very good sign. In a lot of pain naturally, but and pretty ginger on it. But it walking, you know, being able to put weight on it means everything. So hopefully he'll be able to return.
So it looks to be his right knee, or probably his knee, and he is walking off under his own steam for the most part. There's a young man that they cannot afford to lose.
No, but the one thing with this is we probably will not see him the rest of the game. They're going to take every precaution to make sure he's okay. That young man has a very good career in junior football, and they're not going to jeopardize it for a half of football.
So in the meantime, it is a first down. They'll mark the ball in Wildcats territory at about the 46-yard line with 4:50 to go in the third quarter.
And you notice what the Huskies are doing now. They're trying to get their running game going again and try to control the clock, control field position. And in so doing, that you eat up that clock, it makes it tough.
The fake to Berzik, and Lonhart is taken down. The ball is fumbled. I think we're going to have, do have a penalty, and it's going to be a high hit against Lonhart for the most part. But we'll have to wait and see what the officials call. But definitely a great job in there by number 45, Jeremy Fanyon. He was in there quickly to take Lonhart down.
You know, I'm not sure that penalty will be that. It will probably be against the Cats, but it was from an official on this side. So I don't know exactly what it was. Could have been another UR.
We'll wait and see. Here comes the call. Well, no, the hit was good.
Yeah, the hit was good. It's something else down here.
Illegal block to the face.
Yeah, blow to the face and coming off people, and they're calling that a lot today. They're protecting players' heads, they're protecting the face area. So any blow to the head or face is going to be called, even if it's inadvertent. And I know for a lot of coaches it's very difficult when you look at it on the film and say, why would you call that play?
Here go the Huskies again. This is Berzik. Berzik will plow ahead for a gain of about 4 yards on the play. I mean, it's a great situation to be in that the Huskies are in. They have Berzik, and they have Jimmy Airy to switch off whenever they want. The Wildcats, on the other hand, have Bray Josu, and really that's it, other than a fullback.
That's right, and the Huskies also have young Sadowski in behind. There's a pretty good back, so they have a little bit of depth.
I guess one team wouldn't lend the other team a player, huh?
Absolutely not.
No, okay, just thought I'd ask. There's the another ground play, and I think that was Lonhart on that fake.
Now what they will probably do here is go for a field goal. It'll be third down and about 5.
Lonhart picks up 2 yards on the play. 3rd and 5, they're going for it with 3:25 to go in the third quarter.
This surprises me. It's a lot of confidence.
All right, they're sending in signals from the sidelines, and now back in the pocket and taking off with it on that quarterback draw is Brad Lonhart, and he needed to get to the 26-yard line. Depends on where they mark it down, John. Again,
he does not have it. No. I don't believe he has it at all. He looks short. He needed a better burst than that, and you take a look at it. He I didn't get enough push, and again, that surprises me a little bit that they did that. It tells me they don't have the confidence in their place kicker to get that ball through from this distance. Now what?
Well, talking with Ian McLean, he was quite confident in his kicking abilities. It was his punting that maybe was a bit of a question mark. Talking about Luca Capelli, of course.
Here we got a situation.
Oh, it is almost intercepted, in and out of the arms of the receiver, almost into an Edmonton Husky player, but it was intended for number 7 again for the Wildcats, Jordan Samuel.
Now, one thing that is happening, it's been raining, we've got a wet ball out there, and it looked to me that ball was perfectly passed. That ball should have been caught, but went right through the receiver's hands.
2nd and 10. Colton Hippie, the quarterback. Pass, it is complete at the 30-yard line. A gain of no more than 3 yards, and it'll be a 2 and out for the Wildcats.
Now there they had a situation. They were in man coverage, and the strong linebacker, the Sam linebacker, Brandon Stewart, jumped the route right away, was right there to make the tackle. And now the Wildcats have got a punt. So the Huskies did what they had to do. And that tells you probably the rationale. They went for the the offensive play that they did in third down because they believed their defense would be able to make the plays.
And they did that. So Zeroni kicks this one off the side of his foot, and it's going to go out of bounds. On top of that, there will be an offside call against the Wildcats as one of their players got down past the line of scrimmage by a good 5 yards before the ball was snapped.
Well, and here's, of course, the Huskies are going to decline that penalty, and they get the ball in wonderful field position for them at about the 38-yard line.
Okay, so here's the question. It's raining. Zeroni's boot is probably wet. The football is probably wet. The last 2 punts of his have not even come close to what he was doing in the first half.
That could be a part of it. It could also be pressure. That he's trying to make those big punts because he's done so much. He might be over punting the ball. So that was against the Huskies because they're punting again. It's 3rd and 1, so the Huskies must have been offside. At least that's what they must have called. Now we'll see if they try to go for it here. No, over the head now. The Huskies, if he's smart, he's going to give up a safety. That was very smart.
And he is.
By Zeroni. Give up the safety and then kick it away. He's a savvy ball player, and in those situations, you don't want to try to punt it. You do. There's a very good possibility it's blocked or picked up and run in for a touchdown.
So break for the Huskies, and as you can see, the rain is coming down here at Clark Stadium. And whether that had anything to do with the snap or not, but it certainly, it breaks your concentration if nothing else.
If nothing else, and I really think they don't, this isn't like pro where you can keep those balls dry and so on, and they don't have that many. They probably got about 3 game balls out there. So if you got 3 game balls, they're going to be wet by now, and I think that is the problem.
And the rain, guys, it is really coming down now. So it is definitely wreaking havoc, as the coach mentioned. Very slippery football out there. That's why that snap just sailed on the Wildcats right there. But the rain is really starting to come down, and it's one of those old-fashioned soaker rains, you know.
Well, Scottish mist.
You bet.
There you go.
It's a beautiful day in Scotland.
I'll go play golf.
That's right. Yeah, this is balmy weather golf-wise in Scotland, Dave. This is perfect.
Burzik takes the kickoff, and after a short run back is run out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. So the Huskies will take the ball over there. The Wildcats gain in terms of yardage anyway, and the Huskies are deep in their own zone.
They are, but interesting now, does the Husky quarterback go underneath center? It looks like he is doing this. A little easier to grip the ball than having a direct snap out of pistol or gun.
There's the handoff to Jimmy Airy, number 32. Crashes his way over the 40-yard line and will have enough for the first down.
And I'm sure this is exactly what the Huskies want to do now. Again, they've got a full quarter plus a minute, so about 15 minutes to go. If they can continue to control the ball on the ground, and they'll go from under center, although no, Brad is now in gun. So this will be interesting because these snaps now become a problem.
Handoff once again to Airy. Airy jukes and jives his way all the way up to about the 52-yard line. I think he'll have enough for the first down once again.
Very close, and a tremendous burst from Airy when he got the handoff. Well blocked, seal aside, and he exploded up in there. And again, running low and hard.
31-14 the score as we wind down the clock here in the third quarter. 19 seconds to go. Huskies in possession, 1st and 10. There's the fake. Lonhart passes to this side, complete to number 85. Once again, his favorite target so far, Darian Gromolski.
They did a nice job on that. Sit-down route at about 8-9 yards, and a little bit of a fake in there, and then come on outside like he was going to run in the zone on a read, and then bang, pop the ball out there. Very safe pass. If it's not completed, it's out of bounds. So it was a safe play all the way around.
You know, I was just about to say something nice about the fans and how brave they've been. They're still hanging in there. Now it's really starting to come down, and there is a mass exodus to the gates.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of nice to be in the booth, isn't it, Dave? You get weather like this.
Did you hear that, Kevin?
Yeah, loud and clear down here, Dave. So far, you know, I'm not, the weather hasn't sent me scurrying yet.
You know, Kevin, it's interesting because a couple of weeks ago I was coaching in a high school game, and we were up at Riel Park in St. Albert.
I read that quote, yes.
That was the coldest, wettest day I have ever had in my life. I wasn't dressed for it. It's my own fault. But I've never been so cold. It took me 2 days to warm up, and a lot of coffee with certain substance in the coffee to warm me up, and it still took 2 days.
I didn't know you took cream with your coffee.
Yeah, it's very powerful cream, though.
And, of course, last night, we should offer congratulations to Coach Belmont, his Jasper Place Rebels last night with a big come-from-behind 17-14 win over AOB. And I'll have to also thank Coach Belmont because I have a starter on AOB, and it was probably the quietest night in my house for a very long time.
I was very happy that our boys could help you out, Kevin.
Well, appreciate that, Coach.
Speaking of AOB, Aaron Coburn, the injured Wildcat, and he is heading to the sidelines very, very slowly, favoring his right leg. So he will, by the looks of things, be out for the rest of this game.
You know, it's interesting to talk about Austin O'Brien. Darcy Oganowski's done a wonderful job over there for many years. Very, very good football program. Well-coached teams, and it's a pleasure to play against teams like that. You know what's happening, like playing against Harry Ainley, Salisbury, any of these teams that are really well-coached.
As they hand off to Berzik. Berzik tries the right side, and he goes ahead for a gain of about 4 yards on the play. That will be the end of the third quarter. It is the Edmonton Huskies leading the Edmonton Wildcats by a score of 31-14. And I'll tell you what, it's just getting uglier and uglier out there.
It is, and again, you wonder about control of the ball and that. So far, from what I'm seeing from the Huskies, they seem to be handling it quite well. And you hope for both teams that they can handle it well.
I guess this was the 30% chance of showers they were talking about in the weather forecast.
70% chance of good weather, and it dumps right on us. So.
I want to remind you once again about many of the Huskies sponsors without whom they would not be in the position they are currently in. Hertz Equipment Rental, the Edmonton Eskimos, FC Edmonton, Glenn Sather's Sports Medicine Clinic, and the Eskimo Excavators Limited. Wonder how FC did today. They were down in New York taking on the New York Cosmos. And they will be back here at Clark Park next weekend.
You know, what's interesting, you see, they played very well this year, haven't they?
Let's throw a shout out to our cameraman up there in the end zone.
You know, there's not a chance I'd ever get up there. That scares me up there. You know that lightning bolts can hit up in that area, and it's raining.
Don't scare them.
You can't scare guys that go up there like that. They like it. Like those iron workers in New York you talk about, come from Ontario.
So not only does he have to face footballs coming at him from converts, now you're telling me he's got to face lightning too?
Well, lightning, rain, all kinds of stuff up there.
Well, at least he brought along an umbrella.
That is a positive. You just hope that thing that he goes up and down with, you hope it doesn't short out and he's up there for a while.
All right, we are set to get this fourth quarter underway. 31-14 in favor of the Huskies, 16-point difference.
You got a tight end situation.
Lonhart over center, hands it off. Airy on this right side, has some room on the outside. I'll make that Berzik, and Berzik runs all the way down to about the 15-yard line. And I think in that case, there a couple of Wildcats tacklers actually slipped on the turf in pursuit.
That was part of that, but they also pulled some people and got out in front of Berzik. And Berzik really showed a burst on that play. That's the fastest I've seen him this year. But there's the lineman pulling up. They got
There's
that.
the slip.
Yeah, and very good run by Berzik.
Runs it all the way down to the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Huskies once again, and once again it's Berzik. Berzik room on the right side and taken down just shy of the 5-yard line. And in there to make the tackle was Matt Zeroni.
And again, it's a situation, if you notice he slipped a little bit there. If he could have cut hard, he had a seam. You watch here now, he breaks up right there, and he just didn't have it. He slipped, just came outside. If he'd cut upfield, he would have got the first down. I don't know if he'd have scored.
Mark it at the 5-yard line. 2nd and about 3. Handoff straight up the middle, still plowing away.
He didn't score, but he does have a first down, I believe. He's inside the 5, so it should be a first down.
And that again was Matt Berzik.
Now the Husky offensive line is getting a push on this drive.
Brant Berzik, actually. 1st and goal. Ball on the 2-yard, or make that the 3-yard line. Handoff. Berzik. Berzik finds the center of that line. Touchdown.
Again, a real good push from the offensive line, but I do see a flag down there. Holding call on the Huskies.
Yeah,
this is the type of thing that any coach just goes ballistic over. When you're down in that zone, you get inside the 10-yard line, you want 6 points. You do not want field goals. And when you're able to drive, you don't want a hold. And invariably, these holds are very seldom at point of contact. You know, they're usually away from the play, maybe by a position or two.
A very wise coach once said, there's probably holding on every single play. They just catch some and they don't catch some.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
I think it was Joe Farragelli that told me that.
Well, Joe saw a lot of it with some of the linemen he coached over the years, I'll tell you.
All right, Lonhart out of the shotgun, and they blow it down just as he hands it off.
Delay a game. This is going to be very frustrating. Again, now this might be, if it is delay game, could be on the coaches because they're taking time to get those plays into the quarterback, and sometimes they do that freeze and then they send it in. So with 20 seconds, that goes pretty quick.
Michael Borden stands on the sidelines and sends out signals to Lonhart. They go without the huddle, of course, and the signals that Borden sends out. Maybe we can catch a look at that in one of these, just before one of these plays. But number 6 is in there sending out signals, and Lonhart knows what play to call.
They will actually have 2 people sending in signals. One will be dummy and one will be live.
There's the snap. It's almost over the head of Lonhart. He is being chased down from behind and is stopped at about the 10-yard line. He was lucky to pull that one down.
He was. It showed his athleticism. But again, there we are with a wet ball. And I'm sure that's what caused that with the center.
Lonhart showed a couple of nice moves there. Able to get away. He could have been stopped in the backfield by number 45, Jeremy Fanyon, but he was able to get around him.
He is a very, very good athlete. And he's always had a good sense about him playing the game from when he was playing high school ball at Bev Facey out in Sherwood Park. And as he's matured, he's just gotten better and better with it.
2nd and 12, back in the pocket, looking into the end zone. He has a man open. Incomplete. Intended out there for number 86, Tanner Buchanan from the Paul Kane Blues.
And we have another flag down. Now, there's a case.
You're getting really good at that, John.
It's amazing. But there's a case where I believe that ball is caught if it's a dry ball. And I could be wrong. I've been wrong once or twice, but that ball was perfectly passed, and the receiver was in good position. It just went right through his hand.
So the officials once again discussing things with both captains. And here comes the call. Nope.
Well, another conference. You'd think these guys worked in the government. They have so many conferences, wouldn't you?
12:08 to go in the fourth quarter. 31-14. Huskies lead. And there you see Brad Lonhart talking things over with the officials. Now he's going to go to the bench and talk to Ian McLean.
You know, it's interesting. It almost looked like an offensive interference call.
They move the ball. It's obviously against the Huskies.
The Huskies.
They move it all the way back to the 27-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 27.
And I believe that was offensive interference call.
Luca Capelli with the field goal attempt. Went wide on his first attempt. This one from the 35-yard line. He's got the length, and it is wide to the right side and will go out of bounds for the single point. It's 32-14 for the Huskies. This surprises me. Watching him in warm-up, he was just nailing them from like 45 yards out.
Well, that's true, but he didn't have a group of guys coming at him.
Yeah, it's the pressure.
It's pressure. It's the first time he's done it. Remember when Johnny Heidebrecht was here, his first couple of years he missed a lot, and then he's gotten a groove and did a very good job. Luca will do the same thing over time. He's got a very good leg. You saw how he powered that ball right through the end zone and great height on it.
Cole Saberin, the man he's replacing, is going to be out for at least another couple of weeks. So Luca will have plenty of time to get that thing straightened out. There's the handoff to Josu once again, and Bray is stopped.
He was stopped. The linebackers were in tight. It almost looked like one of the halfbacks was in really tight. They might have brought what we call a hammer or a halfback blitz on that. But they're putting pressure on. Huskies aren't easing off.
Loss of 1. 2nd and 11. Ball on the 34-yard line. 2 setbacks this time. Back in the pocket. Looking downfield. It is incomplete. In and out of the arms of that intended receiver again, Luther Hakunavanu.
You're doing good on that. I don't think I could handle that.
I know I can't. I had it down so well the last game, and it just kind of slipped away. Something like the Tree of Life. What is that? Whatever that, Hanamatu or whatever it was.
You're way beyond me with that one.
The Lion King. That's what it is.
You like those animated shows, do you?
Oh yeah, cartoons.
Cartoons. There you go.
All right, here's Zeroni back to his old tricks. A long spiraling kick down to about the 45-yard line, out of bounds at that point, and that is where the Huskies will take things over. So Zeroni obviously back in form after a couple of squibbed kicks.
Well, it's going to be interesting now to see what the Huskies do. They've got a pretty good lead, but it's still an 18-point lead. They're in the ball game. The Wildcats are in the game. So again, I would think that the Huskies will want to sustain drives. I see a tight end going into the ball game, so there's a very good possibility they're going to try to run the ball here and eat up the clock as much as they can.
All right, out of the shotgun once again. Brad Lonhart, over center rather, Brad Lonhart, and then giving it off to Jimmy Airy. Airy is taken up into the air and slammed to the turf. And he is stopped after a gain of about 4 yards. Watch this tackle.
Well, it's a very good tackle. Drove the shoulder in, got him low, just at the belt. That's what you want to do. But as long as the Huskies now, they're about 2nd and 6. Going to be interesting to see here. Now, the first down is important for the Huskies here.
They've got 4 receivers lined up parallel to Brad Lonhart. There's the shovel pass, and it's up ahead to Jimmy Airy, and Airy goes to his knees. I'm not sure whether he tripped or slipped or whatever, but anyway, he is stopped shy of the first down by about 2.5, 3 yards.
Watch here. Now he gets grabbed just as he's making a cut right there, and his feet went out, and then he got filled. So
Taken
you're
down
ending up
from
with a
behind.
third. That's right.
Yep.
But again, the nice thing is he kept it on the ground, running, the clock's going. Now Huskies believe in their defense. We'll see what kind of punt Luca Capella gets in there.
I think that's John Wojcicki out there.
Probably is. It is a wet John Wojcicki out there.
And he is way down there in the end zone. Congratulations, John. You're a better man than I.
Well, that's the thing. You come to these games when they say 30% rain, you bring your slickers.
I was going to say, Coach, one thing you always talk about how the toughness of the football players here in the Prairie Football Conference. But what about the toughness of these fans tonight? You got to be tough to be out here this evening, and we really haven't lost that many fans. A few of them are under the awning here at Clark Park, but the majority of them have stuck it out here through this. Well, I think the only thing we can call it is a monsoon at this point. But Prairie Football Conference has the toughest fans going too.
That's a very good point.
The Huskies.
Go ahead, Dave.
The Huskies will kick this one off. Capella, there is the fake, this direct snap, and it's taken downfield by number 47 for the Huskies. That is
O'Shane Samuel.
O'Shane Samuel. Just amazing.
That was a very good place to do that. You're trying to maintain control, keep the clock, and you were in a pretty good position. You were in over the 40-yard line, so they thought they had a good chance with it, and they executed it extremely well. And here's the pop by O'Shane Samuels, and he runs well. He's got some size, he's got some strength, and he has speed.
Over center, Lonhart, handoff, Airy, it is Jimmy Airy. Airy, number 32, reverses his field and then is taken out of bounds and chased down there by number 22, Isaiah Brown.
He's got about 7 yards with that, so pretty good field position.
So you're looking for a player of the game. Who do you like?
Well, on the Husky side, I love the way Jimmy Airy's playing today. He's playing with tremendous passion, a lot of burst. He's showing his speed and power. And then on the Wildcats side, I have to go with the punter Zeroni. Both playing defense and as a punter, he's doing a wonderful job.
He certainly helped them field position-wise. No question about that. And the handoff again to Airy, and this time he is stopped after a gain, but I think he's got enough for the first down. We'll see what happens here.
I think it's close. I don't know. They're going to measure, so it's very close.
We have another injured player, and it is a Husky. Looks like one of the big horses, number 63, Theron Churchill.
That's not a man you want to see injured. He is one of the top offensive linemen in the Prairie Junior Conference. A wonderful offensive tackle, and he's a young man who plays the game at an extremely high level.
And is it not more difficult for guys of his size to be playing in this kind of condition with the turf the way it is?
I really don't know if it is. No, I don't think so. I think with fellas like him and all offensive and defensive linemen, because of their size, that when they plant on turf, it grabs the foot so much. I think it can wreak havoc with them. And to me, I don't think you're going to see that till they're in their 30s or 40s with a lot of them.
So the Stettler Wildcats grad walks off under his own steam and will sit on the bench for a little bit.
First down.
It is a first. So Airy is successful in getting the first down, and with 8:04 to go, the Huskies move the ball down to the Wildcats' 22-yard line.
And they're going to continue to try to keep this ball on the ground, I believe, and just keep working the clock.
Lonhart, handoff. Airy reverses his field once again, but is hauled down from behind by number 47, Taylor Visser out of Grand Prairie.
Now there was a situation where the hole closed very rapidly, and Jimmy tried to reverse field, and that's very difficult to do in this. And he didn't slip or anything. The defender just made a good play on him.
Under 7.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Fumble in the backfield. Lonhart is forced to pounce on it. He does, and he will lose probably about 5 yards or more.
I suspect they'll go for field goal attempt again, and it's good practice for Luca.
Yeah, at this point, with 7:10 to go in the football game. Granted, the Wildcats are still in it, but we'll see whether Luca can actually handle the pressure here.
I think the pressure's off him now, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any pressure on him. He's missed the first two, and I think he's got it in. Hit the post.
The uprights.
Well, he's been wide one side, wide the other, and hit the upright, so he's doing well, 0 for 3.
But the good news is he's getting closer.
He's getting closer, and he's hitting the ball well.
He is.
He pops the ball hard. He's getting good height on it. The first one was a real bad one, but the last two have not been too bad.
Just one of a long line of kickers from a soccer background.
That's right. Now, the other thing is that is almost better than getting the point, because instead of the 35, they get the ball in the 20.
Colton Hippie looking downfield. It is picked off by Logali. Daniel Logali. Nope.
He didn't get it. He went right through his hands.
Wow. and again, there is the case of a wet ball.
That's right. And he had perfect position to make the play. And that's the thing Logali's done a good job of this year. You watch it, and there he is. He's right there. Boom.
I mean, they've got Logali listed at 6'1", but I think that might be an inch or 2 or 3 short of what he actually is.
I think you're exactly right.
And his vertical is incredible. There's the pass, complete in the middle, taken there by number 85. Once again, Isaac Fanyon, and Fanyon is out with a gain of about 15, and that will be enough for the first down. They mark the ball right on the 35-yard line.
And what Coach Stead is doing here, which is really good, they're not trying to go for it all. This is old run-and-shoot football. The original run-and-shoot, that's exactly how it sets up. The old gangster series from the run-and-shoot offense that was developed down in Ohio by a high school coach by the name of Tiger Ellison. And Coach Stead has seen that offense a few times before. I thought we'd see a little more of this in this game, but not that offense per se, but wrinkles because of the circumstances. But I think the game has been close enough that they felt they're in it. They can do what they do and come down and get plays. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back with this.
There was a late flag thrown, but the penalty was declined.
There's a procedure because I suspect they did not have 7 people on the line of scrimmage. That's usually what happens in these cases, and the kids have to learn how to do this the right way.
5:52 to go. Colton Hippie has gone all the way at quarterback, and that in itself is a good thing for the Wildcats. Here's the pass. It is in and out of the arms of the receiver and intended out there for number 81, Luther Hakunavanu. Got it.
Hakunavanu would have caught that ball on a dry field.
Yeah.
The ball was perfectly passed. Good hit by Hadinsky, the safety. He came through him. That's what you have to do. Hadinsky can't go up for that ball.
No.
You know why? He's about your and my size. That receiver's a whole lot bigger. That ball was put where it had to be. But Hadinsky played it very well.
Hakunavanu doesn't miss many, but on a situation like tonight with the rain coming down, the Wildcats forced to kick this one away again. Matt Zeroni gets a good run up, but it goes off the side of his foot and will go out of bounds deep in Wildcats territory at around the 40-yard line. So the Huskies will have great field position with 5:16 to go.
Great field position. That was about a 3-yard punt. And again, it looked like he was trying to angle that punt to the wide side of the field, and it just came off the side of his foot.
Ball marked down at the 44-yard line. Actually, the rain is coming down to the extent that it's kind of hard to see what's going on the far side of the field sometimes.
That might be our age, It might not be the rain.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, though. Handoff. Jimmy Airy, left side, gets around one man, heads to the sidelines and is run out of bounds after a gain of about 5 yards. It'll be out at about the 40-yard line.
Ran a little short side counter on that play and picked up 5 or 6 yards. So pretty good offensive play. Officials are trying to keep that ball dry, but in these circumstances, very hard.
Holding is the call against the Huskies.
I'm surprised they would have declined a holding call.
Mark it at the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5. Same play, other side to Jimmy Airy, but he is piled up at the line of scrimmage. May have picked up a yard or two on the play.
I would be surprised if he got even a yard on that. That was very well defended. The Husky offensive line literally got beat off the ball on that play. Good fill by the linebackers.
Not sure, but I think we just saw a little bit of lightning.
The coach jinxed us. But yes, that was lightning off to the northwest part of the city. Now the Thunder's going to roll through. So the coach jinxed us on that. I don't think there certainly wasn't any lightning in the forecast, but we're getting a little bit of everything tonight. Now the wind has picked up. I guess the only thing that's left to do is to snow.
And the officials have called a halt to the game.
That's because of the lightning, and they will now. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with this. They just leave the guys on the sideline and see what happens. So they take them into the dressing room.
Well, you can, in case you hadn't heard it before, but now you can actually hear the rain coming down on the roof here at Clark Park, and
you sure can. Well, that's one good thing. I need my car washed, so it's getting washed. And free car wash.
All right.
Yes, guys, both teams are being sent to their dressing rooms as a precaution.
Kevin, if you can get down there and maybe talk to the officials and get the official explanation of what's going on and see how long this delay is going to be, maybe even get a shot of him. But
usually on these things, today in football and a lot of sports, lightning, they send the teams to the dressing room and they'll wait until it clears. Now, with what the score is and the time in the game, we might see a calling of the game. I don't think it will happen for a period of time, but it might.
All right, let's go downstairs, and here's Kevin Donnan.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Just spoke with the referee. Looks like we're going to be in for at least a 20-minute rain delay, and no indication that the game will be called. Just spoke to the referee. He said this game will not be called, but there will be at least a 20-minute rain delay.
How's your singing and dancing?
I'm ready to go, Dave. I'm singing in the rain. Whatever you want me to do on a night like tonight, I'm good to go. I mean, as the coach said, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And like I say, we've got the best fans in the Prairie Football Conference out here tonight. So bit of a rain delay, and we'll see what happens.
All right, there is a 20-minute rain delay, as Kevin mentioned, and hopefully these two teams will be able to get back out onto this football field, and that lightning will take off and be gone, as they say. And here we are back at Clark Stadium here in Edmonton after a 45-minute lightning and thunder delay. And I'll tell you what, folks, there are still some people here in the stands waiting for this football game to resume. When last we left you, John Belmont, which was a long time ago, The score was highly in favor of the Edmonton Huskies over the Edmonton Wildcats by a count of 32-14. Now, I think a lot of us thought they would just call the game, but you being in this league for as long as you have, explain the technicalities.
There is not a coach in the world with just down by 18 points with 4+ minutes to go in Canadian football that doesn't believe they can come back and win. So I'll guarantee you that Coach Park and his coaching staff, they would have gone ballistic if they had tried to call this. And also the Huskies want to break it out. So it's going to be an interesting last 4 minutes. My hope is that everybody gets through it healthy, because you go into that locker room, you sit for a period of time, 5 minutes isn't a long time to warm up.
All right, I think we are about ready to get play underway. And as I say, when last we left you, there was 4 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. The Huskies leading by a score of 32-14. The Huskies had the football and have the football on the Wildcats' 40-yard line. It is third down and 6 to go. And the Huskies are on the move. It's a quick kick. When was the last time you saw that? Into the end zone, out of the end zone, single point.
In some ways, guys, it only makes sense. We've seen literally everything else tonight. We've seen nearly every call in the rule book, and now a quick kick. So it only makes sense to see what we've seen tonight. But I can tell you guys that the rain really hasn't let up. It's nice that the lightning has moved on, but both the rain has intensified off and on, and then but the temperature has dropped, and that's where the coach was talking about injuries. The temperature has dropped at least 10 to 15 degrees since kickoff.
All right, the Wildcats have the football on their own 35-yard line. Colton Hippie throwing the football, and it obviously slipped out of his hands. It was intended there. The pass to number 81, Luther Hakunavanu, and Hakunavanu just could not hold on to it. The ball obviously slipped out of Colton's hands, and
again, it was a little low, but he put it right in the receiver's hands.
But pretty wobbly.
It was wobbly, but the ball's wet, and he got hit by Troy Hansen as soon as he caught it and couldn't hang on.
All right, Bray Josu is the lone setback. He moves to the right. Everybody heads downfield. The pass is incomplete and intended again for Hakunavanu. And Hakunavanu is obviously going to be the target for the last little while of this football game. But are you surprised that they're going to the pass? Would you not want them to control the ball?
Well, they don't have a lot of time when you're
true.
behind like that, so they're going to pass the ball. The problem is I would have thought they could have dried the balls out a little bit in the delay. But maybe they couldn't. It was probably so soaked that they couldn't. And that ball was actually behind the receiver a little bit.
So Matt Zeroni will kick this one away with 3:15 to go in the fourth quarter. It's a wobbly one, end over end, down to about the 45-yard line. And there will be a no yards call on the punt. And picking it up and running it back for about 5 yards or so was number 89, Connor Mickle.
And it was a good return from the point of view that he went straight ahead. He got some positive yardage, drew the no yards call. And I would suspect the way they've been calling it, that'll probably be a 15-yarder.
They marked the ball down at just about the 49-yard line, so they move it up 5 yards. And they will take over the football on the center field stripe.
That's right, and I guess because the ball, the way it landed, they said, no, it'll be a 5-yard. So now Brad Lonhart, he's into a pistol or gun formation.
There's the snap. They hand off to Airy. Airy makes a nice move on the initial tackle and plows his way ahead to about the 45-yard line, which is where I think he needed to be to get the first down. So we'll see where they mark it.
This is all on Jimmy. If you look at the replay, makes a wonderful jump cut right there and then straight ahead. And the offensive linemen stayed on their blocks, and that got them the first down. But that shows the quick feet that Jimmy Airy has, a very, very quick jump cut and then right up on the vertical.
So it will be a first down. Ball on the 45-yard line, 2:47. Oh, wait a minute. Now they're going to come out with the chains just to make sure. I think the chains were right in the middle of that white stripe, so they should be okay. Uh-oh. Nose of the football time again?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
They've had a number of measurements tonight, and a few of them have been this close. Very, very close to a first down, but short. So, but again, from the Huskies' standpoint, this isn't bad. They're sitting in a second down situation, inches to go. Whistles in, they can work the clock. Just get the first down, quarterback sneak, get the first down, and keep it on the ground.
Well, it's a free play in a way, so what would be so different as to what it was back in the third quarter when the Wildcats were in the same situation?
Well, the big thing here is that you're up by a lot, so all you want to do is control the ball and get the first down, work the clock. That's all they're after. Oh, another flag.
Maybe the officials don't have anywhere to go after the game.
I would be surprised at that.
Kevin, by the way, we've changed our minds about the man of the match.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, wow. If I wasn't so humble, I would say I deserve it.
Yes, you do.
But how about these fans, though? Guys, it's the fans that I've got a tip of the cap to.
No question about that. Huskies with the ball once again, and it is Brad Lonhart taking off with it, and he needed to get to the 30. He gets to about the 28 or so. So it'll be a run of about 8 yards, 2nd and 2.
It's very interesting to see how this is going. Brad ran a zone read there, and again, he's done it early in the game. He did it quite successfully, and then Jimmy Airy's been carrying it.
And there goes Airy. Airy is stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Now, his forward progress might have got him to the line, but from where they're putting it, it looks like he might have lost yardage. So this will be interesting to see the decision that Coach McLean makes. 2:20 left in the game. They just might go for it, keep it on the ground. If they get it, fine. If they don't, they control the clock, and that's the big thing.
Or does he want to give Luca Capelli another shot?
No.
Perhaps not.
No, because if you're wide on this, you could get a ball that comes up the sideline on you for a return for a touchdown. And all of a sudden, you could be in a more difficult situation. So right here, I suspect they will try to short pass or run the ball.
Lonhart tries to give it to Jimmy Airy. Airy won't take the ball, so Lonhart follows him through the line.
I don't think on that play that he wanted Jimmy to get those yards. I think he just follows Jimmy into the hole.
Yeah, there you go.
Very good job by Brad Lonhart, and good job by Jimmy just getting vertical.
All right, so it's a first down. The ball is on the 25-yard line. Lonhart is out of the shotgun once again. Hands it off to Airy. Airy has all kinds of room.
That's a touchdown.
And he is in for the touchdown. Jimmy Airy. And he has just come into his own incredibly in this football game after a very slow start for him anyway this season.
He is, and you look at it, very well blocked. The line just does a wonderful job there. It looks like they crossed and they're on the block and opened a hole, and Jimmy popped it. And with his speed, you get a gap like that, he's going to score. Now, 2 weeks ago, he might not have.
Jimmy Airy, 21 years old. I think he's got one more year left of junior eligibility.
He does, and with this confidence that he's getting and the way the line is blocking, I think he'll have a very good rest of the season.
40-14 with 1:41 to go in the fourth quarter. The Huskies will come out of this one with their second win of the season, their second win against the Edmonton Wildcats, And I'll tell you what, this is going to go a long way. If they can win the third game of this series on October the 1st, they stand a very good chance of making the playoffs.
That's exactly right. And the big thing is, like I said earlier, you look at 5 wins. If you get 5 wins, you got a good chance of being in the playoffs. So if they're able to get 3 here, then it's 2 other games they've got to win within the conference. The problem is the conference is so tough.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a few home games, which is good, and because their first few games were away.
Calgary Colts, by the way, are the number 1 ranked team in the country this week and are perfect at 4-0 going into their game tonight against the Regina Thunder.
And it's well deserved. The Colts are playing very good football at this time. They did a good job when they defeated the Saskatoon Hilltops. And when they played the Huskies 2 weeks ago, they absolutely dominated both fronts, offensively and defensively. So when you see that, boy, it's tough. They've got their momentum going, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in Regina tonight.
Wildcats handoff. It's fumbled and into the end zone going the other way. Number 36 for the Edmonton Huskies is Darian Nitty, and the Kelowna native scores his first touchdown in the Prairie Football Conference, and obviously a mix-up in the handling of the football between Colton Hippie and Bray Josu.
You just wonder whether, again, the wet ball caused a little bit of a problem, but it got put down, and again, the Huskies were penetrating. They're coming hard and got a good bounce, and away you go. Husky bounce, you got another 6 points on the board.
All right, the Huskies running away now with this one, 46-14, but I suspect that Coach Darcy Park is just going to look at this last 4 minutes and 8 seconds that they've had to play after this lightning and thunder delay and say, hey, that's not really how we played this football game.
And that's what he has to do with the team. Again, they played pretty well through the game. They took a lot of things away from the Huskies like to do, and they were able to make some drives. But that ball never got into the arms of Josie. It almost seemed like they were looking at a zone read there because Josie, he never looked back. He just went, and the ball was on the ground. That is a dream for a linebacker. All of a sudden, the ball's there, and you got a straight line to that goal line.
Well, we've seen a little bit of everything in this football game, aside from the lightning and thunder delay. So once again, Luca Capelli is called upon to kick this one off from his own 45-yard line. Gets another good one away, all the way down, almost to the goal line, and it'll be taken there by Isaac Fanyon. Fanyon runs to the outside and scampers all the way up to about the 25-yard line. There will be a flag on the play. It may have been a horse collar tackle, but we'll have to wait and see.
I think that is going to be the call. We'll have to wait and see whether it was or not. The one thing that happened on the play that Luca did such a good job was to hang that ball so high. So now he's running laterally, and the Huskies stay in lanes. And you watch him come through, and that is Jacob Battenfelder. That is a horse collar tackle. He did get up on the pad. And so legitimate call, 15-yard penalty, first down for the Wildcats.
On the 38-yard line. Minute 17 to go. Wildcats hoping to salvage something out of this football game. And off to Bray Josu. Josu plows ahead for a gain of close to 5 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 6.
You know, it was a pretty good run in there. He hit the hole hard, and he runs low. We've talked about it earlier. The thing that he's going against is an extremely mobile group of linebackers, and the halfbacks with the Huskies are very physical. And they have one corner who is extremely physical, in Troy Hansen. So very, very hard-hitting team.
Pass complete on the far side, taken by Brandon Olson. And Olson gets enough for the first down, so they'll move the flagstick into the final minute of this football game.
And now the Wildcats, of course, going no huddle, and they're going to try to drive it down. You're going to see some deeper patterns, I think, now. That's procedure.
Hippie gets it away. It is completed, but as you say, a procedure call, and that one will come back.
And there again, you've got the situation that you've got 3 receivers on this side, and they jump the gun. And, you know, to get late in this game, things happen like that. The problem is that we've seen this thing happen over and over again to the Wildcats. It's something they have to get under control. Now, it was interesting that Hippie tried to go over Troy Hansen on that. Most teams do not go to the boundary side on the Huskies deep because he's so tall and physical.
All right, Hippie once again, straight back in the pocket. There's a screen pass, and Bray Josu just can't handle it. And so they will have to kick this one away with 40.3 seconds to go.
And
oh, they've decided to go for it. So Hippie, 2nd and 15. Hippie fakes the pass, hands it off, and here goes Bray Josu. Josu is zigzagging all the way down the football field and is finally stopped at about the 40-yard line. So that's a gain of about 35 yards. And some great, as they used to say, broken field running.
he really did. He made some good cuts out there, broke some tackles. You see it here. Excellent break. Runs through Jason Brown. Aaron Chabelo, one of the linebackers, finally made the tackle.
Actually, a broken play, too. They almost missed the handoff in behind the line.
That's right.
But he was able to take it and carry it downfield for 45 yards, and we're down to the last 18.8 seconds.
And there we had a pass where Hippie tried to hit Schultenkamper, and the Huskies linebackers and defensive backs are just lying back now. And they're just taking anything intermediate like that, they're going to just knock it down.
2nd and 10. Hippie looking to the sidelines. Is it complete?
It is.
They call it complete, and the pass out there to number 8, Brandon Olson. He was able to go down and get it. Picks up close to 10 yards or over 10 yards, and it'll be another first down, this time on the 30.
Very good stop route by Brandon Olson on that play.
Now looking deep, and it is incomplete. Out there again, Brandon Olson was the intended receiver.
Ironically, again, the corner on that is Troy Hansen. Troy Hansen was a running back as well as a linebacker with Jasper Place, and Brandon Olson was his quarterback at Jasper Place High School. They're going against one another.
6 seconds to go. Wildcats will give it one last shot, try and salvage something. The pass is knocked down. It was intended down there for Brandon Olson, and getting up there to knock it down was Jay Manley, linebacker, rookie linebacker out of Centennial High School. And it looks like we have time for one more play. That one only took 3 seconds off the clock, so 3rd and 10. Ball on the 29-yard line. And Colton Hippie has Bray Josu behind him, looks downfield, out of the pocket, throws into the end zone. It's a game ball, a jump ball, and there is going to be, I don't believe this, there is going to be an interference call.
This is interesting. It's
almost 50 penalties tonight, guys. Just walked past our stats, guys. Almost 50 penalties tonight in this game.
It is defensive pass interference.
The interesting thing about this, with the rule today that it is, it's only a 15-yard penalty. So it will not get down inside the 5-yard line. In the pro game, this would go right down to the, because it's in the end zone, it would go down there. It was a 15-yard penalty. So here it is on about the 15-yard line. Last play of the game. Maybe.
Zeros on the clock. And with almost 50 flags thrown, you just never know.
That is so true.
All right, here's the snap. Hippie into the end zone, has a man open, touchdown! Luther Akunavanu with the touchdown, his third of the season, I believe.
And that ends the game on a positive note for the Wildcats. There have not been a lot of them here, especially in this last 4 minutes. So to get down the field and get the ball in the end zone is positive for them.
And this will be the point after.
I suspect they're going for 2.
Yes, they will. There's the snap, the handoff. Jordan Samuel makes it to the goal line, but the referee signals no convert. So it will end 47-20 in favor of the Edmonton Huskies over the Edmonton Wildcats in what has been a really different football game.
It has been a different football game. The positives of it are that both teams played better as teams than they did the previous game, even though the score is not as lopsided from the Huskies' point of view, but they actually played a better game than they did when they played them earlier.
I tell you what, I have to be particularly impressed with the Wildcats' defense. They held this powerful Huskies offense, obviously 47 points, but still, they were able to hold them off the scoreboard more than one time.
They improved a lot, and the other part of it was their punting until the rain kind of took over, did very, very well. So there's some positive there for the Wildcats. The Huskies have got to get into their next game and get it going. They've got to pick it up, and the one positive for them is Jimmy Airy is on track. And if they can get that running game going and going solid, it's going to open things up for them dramatically.
The Wildcats had their defense back on track. They played an extremely good game tonight despite the score. I have to be impressed with the comeback, if you like, of Colton Hippie.
Yes, and he showed poise in the pocket today, and he threw a number of very good balls. And when things did go bad, it didn't seem to fluster him, whereas in the previous game he was flustered by a lot of things. Now, that being said, the offensive line of the Wildcats played much better in this game than they did in the previous game.
Well, our man of the match is Kevin Donnan, and Kevin Donnan is standing on the scaffolding here just outside of our booth. So, Kevin, take it away.
Can only take so much rain after a while, Dave. I'll tell you, what a night from Clark Park. We've had a little bit of everything. We've had penalties, some intensity. We've had some great plays, some big plays, and it's all come to an end. We had a lightning delay. We've literally had everything. But we want to thank you for joining us this evening for our Week 6 Procast of the Huskies and Wildcats. On behalf of the Edmonton Huskies Football Club and ICU Video Productions, including our executive producer Rob Zitla, Dave Foley, our technical advisor, our entire crew, and of course our broadcast team of Dave Rozak and the coach John Belmont. ICU Video Productions, we don't webcast, we procast. The final score, the Edmonton Huskies 47, the Edmonton Wildcats 20. My name is Kevin Donnan. Thank you for joining us tonight, and have a pleasant evening from Clark Park in Edmonton.